Hello and welcome to Garblag Games, Mage, the Ascension, Masters and Monsters.
Hello and welcome back to Garblag Games. It's been a while since we've been in the studio. I've been on holiday and it's my garage, so no one can get in. So it's been a few weeks. Just don't tell anyone where it is. Anyway, we're back with episode 5 of Masters and Monsters, our Mage the Ascension game. In a few seconds, I think Sam's going to give us a rundown of what happened last time.
Yep.
And we'll go around and do a little introduction of who we are and who we're playing, because I think that will help us all remember, because it's been a little while. Before we do that, please don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We're putting lots of stuff up on there. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, which will have a link below. I've been doing a lot of new maps that we've been putting up on there. We've got some new tiers for support, so please consider supporting the channel. And anything else that I need to...
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes, like, comment and subscribe. But yeah, other than that, should we go around and say who we are and what we're doing?
So say who you all are, and then I'll explain what 3 of you were doing last week, and we'll have a roll to cover what Roger was doing when he wasn't here.
Shall I go first? I'm
Yes.
Pete. I'm playing Jeremy Cranthorne. And I am a Order of Hermes mage who was shot in the foot during the war and had to go home.
Yes, clearly.
Hi, I'm Roger. I'm playing Ron McDougall. I am a Verbaner who is now in the Royal Canadian Airborne Battalion, but been reassigned to be a mage because powers turned up.
Marvellous.
I'm playing Abe Cohen, part of the Society of Ether.
Sort of engineer.
Technical guy in London.
I'm playing Rufus William Foxmere.
It's a great name.
It is a good
I love
name.
it.
It's always expecting a number.
Yeah,
The third.
yeah,
It's gotta be the
It's got to
third.
be the third.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, he is an Akashic Brotherhood, Akashic brother with almost no magic, but lots of almost no magic, which is quite fun.
Some
A hefty sprinkling.
A lot of sensory magic and nothing else.
So last week, Jeremy, Abe, and Rufus took Tony, the young man who had awakened previously, and they had recovered from a rather nasty basement with a rather nasty runny hit mark in it. They also took with them as well. They retired back to the Aetherite base at Cranfield, north of London, where Abe commonly works. While there, Harry and some of the Hermetics turned up to talk to Tony and sort of acquaint him with his new world. And also, you guys basically sort of helped with that, sort of helped sort out the hit mark, and mostly poked random magical devices because they're fun.
Yeah, there was a fun typewriter.
Yeah, there was a
I was
timer, there was a
typing
box, and all sorts of things, and it's fantastic. We're all doing this, it's brilliant.
And we established that lots of things link together.
Yes.
There's a
Well, they're kind of
so the typewriter was
associated.
made by someone who the hit mark recognised and is probably a prisoner of the same people or the boss of the person who captured Tony.
Yep. Yep.
It's all
There
The
was a
Hitmark
big
certainly knew
battle.
about someone that smelled of flowers anyway, which is the resident you love.
Yes. And it all kind of links to this big
and there was
battle
a big
that had gone on
Yeah.
at Hornberg. Is that right?
Frankenberg,
Okay.
in the Black Forest, where things have gone horribly wrong for a lot of mages, but also for a Nephandi cabal, which is good.
Yes.
So, at the end of last time, Abe made some phone calls. Abe is looking at his notes intensely. Abe made some phone calls to a hermetic, not hermetic, to one of his liaison contacts to talk about the items you'd found. You guys poked stuff, and there is one ever so slight retcon that I had said that Harry basically is going to start taking Tony to Warwick along with Tony's family. He is hoping to meet one of his former students and hand them over to her care, but he's not happy about just chancing this to any old driver or whatever because Tony is potentially so vital. So he's going to go with him, so he will be away for some of the night. So what he will say to the rest of you before he goes is, do you remember he did say you were going to try and have supper with an associate of his?
Yes.
Who knew about the happenings in the tunnels?
Yep.
He's managed to get a message to him that that's now not happening.
Okay.
He's sort of told you where you are out in Limehouse. Hopefully he will come and make himself known to you in Limehouse. He is a bit unusual. Try not to freak out, but he will have a set of papers similar to your papers, effectively. So that's how you will know he's the correct contact.
To wear a red flower.
Yes, he has his Ministry of Wallpapers thing, which you lot have all been issued.
Sorry, Ministry of Wallpapers. I heard Ministry of Wallpaper.
there is a Ministry of Wallpaper.
There may be, but they're currently not involved.
That's brilliant.
Wait, what?
The roller department.
Right. So, we left Ron in Limehouse. Bit of a fish out of water in sort of central London, but he's all right at the moment.
Avoiding people.
Yeah. And you have a friendly, ecstatic Charlie who's helping you out. He's part of a local family run on the Chinese restaurants. Basically, you are of the opinion that this man that took Tony is going to return to this basement for him and Marty tonight. So you had a sort of plan to set up some form of trap, I think, or at least some form of sting. There is a basement of this grocer's that's been hit. The back of it's been hit by a shell, and the rest of it's been abandoned. So you have what you have available to you. We're not going to go through it all because it might take a little while. What I thought we'll do is just do a roll or two to sort of cover how well the setup's gone, and to check anything you would have asked of Charlie or anything that you might know over the course of the few hours you've been.
All right.
So what's the plan? Are we talking like sawing through boards, or are we talking like how are we doing the?
Well, basically, think animal traps.
Okay.
Using wood and rock, which is what rubble in this case, but it's what he would have used out in the sticks in Canada. So they don't look out of place because he's not using lots of metal or no more than he needs to build elaborate bear traps, more kind of pit things or things where it collapses and traps his foot, that kind of thing.
So you're probably going to weaken like a section of floor and sort of then disguise that it's been weakened.
Using rubble
and dig out maybe the basement level below it so he's got further to fall. Right, okay, that sounds to me a lot like a survival role, unless you want to plead for something different, but I doubt you do.
Survival sounds sensible.
So let us
and
have...
good for Ron.
Let's go with wits and survival. I think that sounds good. I would accept perception possibly if you'd rather, but it's up to you. I presume wits is how your character, is getting by and all this sort of thing. So, difficulty 6 is not particularly tricky.
Can 10s explode?
Have you got a relevant speciality?
Oh, no. 3. Then 3.
3, marvellous. Yes, so you have weakened a section of floor. Bear in mind, you know this man's been here before, so he's going to expect the floor to be solid in the way it was last time he left. So you can find a section, he'll avoid known weak spots, but you can find a section you know was good and make that the section that's going to fall. Basically.
Yeah.
This place, again, being in it, with Marty and the boy out, it's a little bit better, but it's just still this awful, despairing resonance to this place. You can only sort of do sort of half hour, 40 minutes, and you have to come out and, doubt your character smokes, probably not have a cigarette, but come out and get some fresh air and walk around a little bit and then go back in again, because otherwise the temptation to just give up and go to bed is sort of mounting, basically.
You know what? I'm done. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I've just had it.
Not that he has any idea where the hell he is. He's just got dumped in London.
He's somewhere, apparently. Right, is there anything you would have talked to Charlie about that you want us to cover?
If he knows anything about the guy that we're waiting for.
He's not seen anyone use it. He will expand a little bit on it. As far as he knew, this building was derelict. The family that ran it, the grocers, were killed during the Battle of Britain. There was a direct hit on the back room where the whole family was sheltering, and all of them were killed. He liked so it was a couple and their 3 children. He liked them a lot. They weren't like mages or anything, but they definitely had a bit of the oddness to them, and they sort of knew what he was a bit, and he actually had quite a good rapport with them. And he was pretty upset when they were killed. But yeah, he doesn't really know what was going on with them. But yeah, they were all killed here. So he knew the resonance was here. He suspects that it was their death that did that. But he doesn't. So the resonance wasn't created by this man and Marty. They just took advantage of it as a good place to hide, basically. But no, he doesn't know anything about the man who's been here, unfortunately. Well. But you get the impression he's off his face quite a lot of the time. So exact detail recall may be...
There's the point where he pauses for about 10 minutes and just go...
Yeah.
Can I also prepare some hiding places?
Yes, you can. in the basement level where he will fall through to, hopefully, or on the on the shop floor level where he will
Basically,
start him.
Ideally, both, if I can. I mean, it depends what's available. So yeah.
Yep. Okay, you can. That's it. And you've kind of got. All you know is they said he'd be back tonight, so that could be 9 o'clock or it could be 4 o'clock, and you're not really sure.
Yeah.
But these guys, there is certainly no activity up to about 8:30. Probably it's going to be by the time you guys get back. It's summer. It's June. It's not far shortest day. So realistically, it's not properly dark till gone 9. Really. And these guys were aiming to be back by dark, I think, was the plan.
Is there
wasn't it?
somewhere I could make a phone call to them?
Yes. There is definitely somewhere you can make a phone call.
Okay, I'm gonna phone them and ask them if they can bring my military uniform, as laying in ambush wearing bright red is not a great plan. As much as he's proud of being a Mountie, it's a little bit awkward.
They may not be able to bring you your uniform, but they'll be able to bring you a uniform.
Sure, yeah, we can find some
Fatigues.
fatigues.
Yeah, basically just military greens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can find you some greens. They're in
Might be
Chronicle.
the pattern you
Or
used to.
khakis, I
Yes.
suppose.
They're in a admittedly Air Force base, but they will have such things. Yes.
Like some of the planes on.
I'll be in blue.
Pilot uniform.
They will still have.
Blue's still better than bright
No,
red.
they will still have camo fatigues. I would have thought there are armed
Well, it's
regiments
kind
that
of
work
just
out there, including parachute regiments. and
Brownie
stuff, so-
green.
Yeah, they will have brownie green things. They can be found and brought back. Is there anything else you wanted to quickly do before you leave Cranfield?
And my rifle. Or a rifle.
A rifle. Where
You got
was
the-
your rifle? It might well still
That's
be.
probably with my kit. Because I'm not walking around
Right.
holding a
Then
solid
they will
grade
bring you.
rifle.
Then again, a rifle we find it's the British issue. assault
The Lee
rifles.
Enfield,
Yes.
which is what I'm using. Yeah.
Was Harry left after because we had a phone? I did a phone call with a
You did.
contact.
You
Not
can
on
talk.
camera.
Yes, you can talk quickly to Harry if you want to. Before he
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems a little bit odd to be walking around London with a sodding great rifle. Don't mind me!
Even in wartime, I think that might be frowned upon.
Yeah.
At least not in uniform.
Harry,
Yes.
before you head off,
what
I
can
just
we do for you now?
talked to Mary Coniston.
Oh right, yes. I know Mary. A nice woman actually.
Well, I thought you might be able to give us a bit more information on Marty.
Never hurt.
But yeah, she had an insight maybe on the person we think was contacted by the typewriter.
All right, okay.
She says that the kind of
The flower
bits
girl.
about it suggest that it was a chorister.
I'll bow to her superior knowledge of choristers.
Someone called. Let's see. Elsa Garrett. Quite young, 23.
Oh yeah, I did see that on the dispatches. That was years ago.
A couple of years ago, she went missing. Yeah.
Oh, she's MIA as far as I know.
Yeah.
But no, her master was killed. But so we think she might potentially be the flower lady.
Well, if it's a chorister, that's apparently the only one that matches the description.
Right. Well, if you get chance and I'm not back,
Mm-hmm.
go to St Paul's and ask for Elizabeth there.
Right.
And she might be able to spread some light on it.
OC question. How
Yes.
does that relate to the chorister that I ran into fairly early on? Because my idea was that I ran into a
Yes.
chorister and a Acacia brother.
Yes.
That's my first mages
Yeah.
I encountered.
It's not the same woman.
Okay.
As much as I think you think you'd have come across, if she was the flower person, you'd have known when you found the resonance on this thing. But possibly maybe even lost from the same operations. That time scale would work out if the chorus were active in that
That
area.
was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, so they've been, but they could have been, if they were active in the same region, it's quite possible.
Apparently she was also, and again, another thing, she was lost at the same time as what we assume is a twin. A brother called Andrew.
No,
Who's
I
the
remember
Thanatos,
this. I
not-
never met them, but I remember this.
The
on the
Thanatos, not
dispatches.
a member of the chorus.
Some poor sod had to go and tell her parents.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
So I wondered, because I don't know of any Thanatos left in the country, so I don't know if anyone would know anything more about him. Or
Paul, he was a friend of mine. He was the Santos, but he passed away at Frankenberg. But his most junior student is still in the country, but really she
would know anything about
she's so junior. But
Andrew.
we could try, maybe.
Alright.
The Thanatos were absolutely on the front line at Frankenberg is the unfortunate thing, so Thanatos are absolutely nearly extinct at this point. We lost a generation of Thanatos.
It was, from what I saw, like nothing else.
And they lost more than the rest of us. 5 masters. That's Europe's. That's the generation of Thanatos effectively wiped out. But I can ask her if she knows. Nice girl. I'll give her a phone call in the morning, though, unless it's cripplingly urgent tonight.
I suppose I know.
All right.
So there's a countdown on the typewriter, but it's not for another month. So.
Then we're probably all right for a month, aren't we? But let's worry about all of us still being in one piece in a month for now. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
Right.
cheers, Sarah. Sorry, I just
Really
thought you might
take
be the best one to know anyone else about that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
In the extremely unlikely event that I don't entirely come back from this or not in the time frame I'm expecting to, because we know he's been targeted once, he might be targeted again. I'm not as young as I was. I've left instructions in the office that effectively, obviously they will have to point something to the sleeper position, but all my staff should continue to make themselves available to help you lot until such time as a proper replacement is sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be alright even if I'm not around. But don't lose your papers.
Okay.
Right, I will hopefully see you gentlemen in the morning.
While we're sorting out a rifle for one, I'll probably get one for myself as well.
And they were going to
Not
find you a pistol that wasn't.
really expecting to be using it in the kind of confines I'm expecting to be fighting in,
But you
but
never know.
I might as well have a decent power gun.
And someone has found you a British issue pistol as well, because the German one was starting to ask some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not too worried about guns.
No. No, don't negate it either. Should we fix them?
That would be a poor idea, yes. Yeah, yeah, I could
Plasma cannon.
No
I
plasma.
could destroy
I'll
a
take
lot
one
of
of
people
those.
I didn't intend to.
It's something over there.
Exactly. I wish you were Frankenberg, because I've got like Hornberg for like
Oh, was
three
it
times.
Hornberg? Maybe it was Hornberg. I may have my names wrong. Possibly I dismissed Frankenberg because I was looking for the suitable town. I may have dismissed Frankenberg due to the whole Frankenstein.
Maybe.
It may have been Hornberg. It's just
I've
presented as
written that down a
Hornberg.
few times.
Okay.
Yeah, we will retcon it to Hornberg. It's
Right.
Hornberg.
Okay.
The town that got destroyed.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not there anymore, so it's fairly academic. It's
It
called,
doesn't matter what it was called.
because no one's going there
Yeah.
ever again.
It's called Hole.
Yes, it is basically a mile-wide crater at this
Yeah.
point in the Black Forest. So, right, these guys turn up, true to their word, as the sun is finally setting over Limehouse, with some fatigues and a rifle.
Excellent. I'm going to go get changed.
Yes, I presume.
Everything okay, Ron?
Yes, don't go in the building.
I was going to say, I presume after telling them where the trap is, because otherwise.
Once I'm back, I'll show you where the traps are.
Because, yeah. I presume, yes, that you are not going to let your fellow mages fall in said trap.
No.
Because it would kind of spoil the effect.
It would
wouldn't
spoil the
Because
effect.
There's already a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
And or
Like a
someone
half-dead
trying to
mage hanging out
someone
there.
trying to extract their mate from
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it might spoil the surprise a little bit, shall we say. Right, so you go and get changed. You can go to Charlie's places. Toilets and the restaurants and everything. If you want, that's fine. It's not bother him.
Wherever, somewhere private.
You can go in the restaurant and change. It's not a problem. Charlie comes out with
So I
some...
assume we have rifles in a bag or something.
No,
Probably not necessary.
So you just have an army truck. You're kind of allowed to have a rifle at this
Oh,
juncture.
did they give us a lift?
Yes, they do. The truck brings you back. Yes.
Ooh.
And
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking going back on like the bus and the train.
Yeah. Just
No.
put an umbrella
They
on.
give you a try. Shortly after you get back and after you've got change, Charlie comes back out with boxes of noodles for everybody if they have an urge for noodles.
Yeah.
I'll eat.
Yeah. And so where are we waiting? What we hiding?
Right,
what we
so-
doing? What's the plan?
I will give them a tour of where the trap is, where the hiding places I've pre-prepared for them are, and I will give them advice on camouflage.
Right. Is everyone happy to be hidden within the building, or does anyone feel their skill set is
Probably
best
going to
suited?
wait
I
outside.
was going to say, I don't think it's a good idea I'm in there. I'll just follow on my own feet. And...
Yes, I'm not really set up for close quarters. Unless I stay hidden and
There is.
do the mind.
There's a pub across the road as well.
Oh, that sounds like a perfect. Probably get some proper food there as well. I'll wait in the pub. They might have a copy of the paper.
They might indeed have a couple of
Abe, should we watch from the window over there? Suitably placed.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Did we mention that there might be a guy turning up with some papers at some point that Harry's sending?
Oh, no, yes. There might be
Yeah,
someone turning up on
good
Harry's.
Who are we
Okay.
expecting?
He didn't say that, and it was a bit weird.
And there are some very interesting things that Abe keeps at his lab.
We put together. There's a lot of. It seems like a lot of different things are coming together to be part of one story.
They've all sort of been found on various missions in
probably
Europe
want to
to
talk
talk
about
about for
this
investigation.
After we've.
Sure, sprung the trap.
We don't want to be standing around talking when the heat turns up.
Yeah.
That would just be embarrassing.
Speaking of which,
So you two hide. You two go to the pub.
I will have still shown them where the trap is.
sure,
So
yeah,
if they do come in, they don't just go.
sure.
I'll do that without you, Trav.
There is a curfew in place. You guys all have papers, so you are allowed to be out and about if you feel the need to. But the pub will be pretty much kicking people out and locking the door at 11 o'clock.
I will be ordering 2 pints of bitter.
Yes. So 10 o'clock comes and goes. They have indeed.
So where
I'm only
are
having 1 beer.
where are we in?
Yes. Where do you two wish to hide yourself in the
Where do you
building?
think the most?
You have both
Just
lower and upper
ground floor or
ones.
basement.
One above, one
above,
below.
one below. Which side do you want?
You should be down below.
I'm going to be wherever he will end up after hopefully springing my trap.
Okay.
The
So I'm
basement,
assuming below.
Okay.
Unless you've got a very
And I think
some sort of seesaw.
Not necessarily. Some traps are
Catapult.
purely designed to trap them where you've got.
Yeah, I presume that because you've
Might
got
be-
a
it might be,
convenient.
A
2 metre
3-inch
drop.
and then I
Yeah.
now can't get my foot out.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I presume as you've got a convenient 6-foot drop and this building's in such a state, it doesn't require a
Yeah.
lot of significant
I will
to
have
get that.
suggested camouflage
Cool.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By using the dirt
Yeah.
from where we are
Mm.
to basically rub it onto our faces
Yeah.
to match the colour. And
Break
some
up
into
the
our
lines.
uniforms.
I say
You'll
this
probably
does
get
not
the
appear
idea
to be
that
his
this
first
Is not this is not
rodeo, no.
Yeah. I have reasonable degree of self.
So we shall have a roll to see how well you two have.
This
done
is where
that.
my roll completely crap.
We are on stealth, I believe, in this
Stealth
case, which is probably dexterity or wits.
I'll take
I'm
that.
gonna
hello.
4.
Nice. Arcane.
Yes, that won't affect the difficulty. It will affect the how. Yes, you will be if you how
I
you
have
work
2
the
ranks of arcane.
Yes, people will tend to not look at you. Basically, that's how that tends to work.
What am I looking for?
6s.
Sakes, nothing.
Oh my god, how many dice did you roll?
7 dice.
7 dice.
Roger, you have 4.
Ones.
I think with
wonderful
4
ones.
you have enough to camouflage yourself and notice that he's
It's your favourite game,
positioned himself
At least
slightly
one
off
of
for the night.
It's
Can I
like my
tell him
favourite- it's
to
like my
adjust where
best
he
roll,
is?
and I got.
It's like, no, hiding place is there.
I think with 4 you have enough to hide yourself and notice that his has not gone according to plan. I think.
Yeah, I'm going to redirect him somewhere slightly more suitable.
Right. So, as I said, 10 o'clock comes and goes. For those of you in the pub, someone will come for
That's just embarrassing.
11 o'clock
I
comes
might
and
try
goes.
and set up some instrumentation to see if I can sense if any effect goes off.
I was going to say, are
And
you
I
watching
will be
the
doing
magic or
a,
otherwise?
I'm going to be doing a local mind sweep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Adam, are you...
I'm intending to do something similar once I'm hidden.
Yes. I was going to say, I assume some people may or may not be. It maybe is it, so. Either it could just be turning on magical sensors, so you're going to pick things up, which is fine because you've got it at your leisure. I'm just going to let it sit. You can just sit there and go until
Sure.
such time as it comes up, because you've all got a spare hour to put up any form of magical sensors. I'm not sure Ron entirely knows what he's doing with those yet. We may just have to rely on the triggering. You're not.
Something smells funny.
On and off is proved tricky.
I've got my dog to warn me.
Exactly. If anyone's doing anything beyond basic sensory magic, let me know. You've set up instrumentation.
But
You're
no,
running
I mean-
numbers. I'm assuming.
Like I said, I'll
I'm
set up
running numbers.
a couple of things under the table, sort of vaguely something.
I'm also going to get my pocket watch out and just have that on the table in front of me while I'm doing my mind scans.
Thinking that visibility would probably... We would want it to be slightly poorer than it would normally be, basically to make the trap harder to spot.
Yeah, it's pretty rubbish in here anyway, because there's not street lighting up after a certain point.
But I was kind of hoping to kind of get a mist to somewhat descend on the
Yeah,
area.
you could. Yeah. So have a go at your forces. You're not really sort of creating this out of nothing because it's a slightly
I'm
damp
hoping it's a bit
building
damp,
and a bit dusty and all that kind of stuff. So we shall go with forces 2, which you're just manipulating rather than
I don't know how
creating.
this works.
You roll your
So-
arete
Force
dice.
is 3, but I don't know.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
So as long as it is what you have or under, you're all good.
So roll my arete.
You
Yep.
roll your arete, and what that difficulty is so it is 3 plus the highest sphere used. If you're doing it in some way that sort of works with your his understanding as to how magic's happening.
Yeah, he's using his knife.
Yeah, which he uses for his.
His bone-handled knife.
So you've got plenty of wood, so you can like carve some of the little marks you use for trapping and tracking and that kind of thing, and into the door frames and all that kind of stuff, and just give it chance to
drawing a
come
moose.
up, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so have a roll at that then. So it'll be difficulty 5. I say Mage's wigs. Those only 3 dice, but
Hey!
3.
3 successes.
Nice.
Marvellous. Really misty.
It's like, on those rolls, even though you've only got 3 dice, 1 is like really good.
1 is good. You succeed.
3 is
Magic
like,
has worked.
3 is like, I'm glad I've got my mindset this is up, because otherwise I'm going to see him.
Well, no, it means you've got control.
I need to be able to see, so
Yes.
it's basically just...
Yes, so where I am, it's really misty. Because then once he falls through, you can see him.
So old Foxmere is screwed.
No, it's basically enough to be even murkier than it would be, so you can't see the trap.
Right.
I'm assuming I've got control over it, and it doesn't just go,
No.
oh, I've done it really well. Oh, no.
You've done it really well means you get it how you want it. Not that there's tons of it.
Basically,
Doing it
enough so
badly, there
he
can
could
also be
quite...
All of London is covered.
enough so he can quite clearly see a silhouette, but
not enough that,
Yeah,
not enough that the floor is
yeah.
clearly visible.
But yeah, lots of it means you could probably cover a wider area as well.
Cover a wider area.
Which means there's obviously just around the
Set
base.
it
Oh, yeah,
out.
no, yeah.
Put some in the street as well, so it won't look
Oh, yeah, no, a wider area, so...
Just like a little patch. Not stepping there.
Yeah, no, you can set it up. 3 successes is excellent. You can get the mist just to your liking.
Excellent.
Right, are you two actually looking out the window as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Watching that. We're sitting by the window.
It just gets misty.
It's really misty over there. But you will probably still see people coming down from like Limehouse Tube approaching the mist, as it were. In the mist, not a hope at this point. But
Sure.
outside the mist, you probably will. So, both of you make perception and alertness rolls. I do not know if this is the strong suit of either of these characters, but we
Perception is one of mine. I'm thorough.
Yes.
No? This
Not
is more of a
really.
off the
This is a
cuff thing.
spotty, yes,
Okay.
rather than a
What's the difficulty?
6.
Got 2. As many as I could get.
Have you got perception?
I've also
of
got 2. I had a 1 that cancelled out my 10.
But you have another 2.
2.
Right.
I got
So,
6 and a 9 on my 2 dice.
both of you spot a slightly odd. So there's a group of people. Looks like lads, probably I don't know, home on some leave or something like that, but they'd be a bit of a hard time. But there's a small group of lads walking from the tube. But there's one bloke who, if you look casually at the group, you'd assume that he's with them. But actually, if you look, he's not. He's kind of hanging back from them. It's almost like he's using them as cover, if that makes sense. You know, as if they were looking out for somebody.
Mind scan.
If you were looking out for someone by yourself. Right, okay.
Gentle.
Gentle.
Stroking
Mind.
is involved with the mind scan.
Yeah, if you're able to stroke him, you're
careful.
going to be in position. Right.
Are the kids aware of him as part of their group,
really,
like mentally?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Right, so he's ghosting behind them.
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
But
I'm gonna.
if, for instance, you were looking for a lone person coming out of the tube, you wouldn't necessarily pick him
Yeah.
because he appears to be with the group.
Okay. I shall get the slide rule out, make some notes in the paper on the column of the paper.
His head.
Yeah,
His
sort of the
trajectory of how
distance,
he's
how far
working,
away are
yeah.
we? This pace, that thing. Make a few notes. Here we go, and brain scan. Oh dear,
Badly? Or
No.
really badly?
badly. I've got a 1 and 2 2s.
Really badly.
Really badly.
That's what we like to call a botch.
That's
Absolutely.
what we like to call a botch.
No successes and a 1. That's a botch.
You
Oh,
pass
dear.
out and go, yeah.
Yeah. Broke my slide rule.
That's probably the less.
I
I'm
am
going to get
opening-
slapped by Paradox.
I am
It's like
opening...
my paradox and possibly give
Should you just
yourself
stand up in the pub
Absolutely.
and scream, I'm a wizard!
Just lean out and go, Mage!
Oh god. Yeah, so much for our ambush. Is going to see you.
My really well planned ambush.
Hey, look, that's the best moments in role-playing
I definitely
games are caused by a critical failure.
So I definitely think you should tread right there.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't find out about the trap.
My 2 friends hiding in both the basement and next to the
Yeah.
trap that's there.
And we're watching him from the window.
I reckon this mist is probably made by one of them, you know.
Hit me with some paradox.
If the effect was coincidental, your mage gains 1 paradox point for every dot in the highest sphere she was using. If, for example, she was trying to cast a Life 4 Prime 2 effect, she would gain 4 points of paradox.
I was trying to read his mind.
Yes, which actually is only a mind 2 to read surface thoughts. That's all you're doing.
Yes.
So that is merely 2 points of paradox
is that all?
at this point. Yes.
What? So for the viewers, and maybe if assume I don't know anything about paradox points, what happens when I get more? Or
So,
what happens with these two?
eventually, at some point, paradox can be bought off with contestants, but eventually, at some point, if it isn't, the paradox will backlash. And the wonders of this system is it's entirely at my whim when that happens. So it might be now, or it might be when you've had time to get 8. Now would
Then it would be
arguably
like
be
a-
better for you, because 8 will probably be looking for your spleen in a different country.
Cool.
So
The number of paradox points. It's
basically,
not like a number of times that it might happen, and you go, "Oh, something's happened." Chip one
Is it
off.
just quintessence that gets rid of that?
I thought playing on Quintessence was like a Prime 5 effect.
it probably is actually. Isn't
If
it?
I
Yes.
get
I thought
whacked
you
by a
just-
paradox,
yeah.
does it go away?
Yes.
Yes.
Normally when it backlashes,
That's the
it's just
advantage.
like,
Once it backlashes,
goes.
it's gone.
Do you rule that people can try and invoke backlash? I can't remember whether that's standard or not.
I suspect if someone came up with something fun, I probably would let them. Basically.
Okay,
And
So if
is it familiars eat paradox?
I'm okay right
Can
now.
do.
Yes.
yeah, familiars can eat your paradox.
Good
But,
dog.
but they do also
Good
they,
job.
but they do normally
They
eat.
need
Yeah.
quintessence.
They do
So
also
that's
eat
a way of-
contestants.
yeah, you got
They do
power.
eat- Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably what
but
I'm thinking
it's
of
worth
is the
it.
familiar
Oh, yeah.
contestant because I
I
probably
remember
know that.
because when we were in an old Mage game, someone was very enthusiastic when they got Prime 5 and they spent a lot of time with wine because their way of doing it was blessing wine in a certain way and then drinking. They invoked
Drinking.
Yeah.
So they were utterly drunken, but didn't have any paradox.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey. Okay. Cool. 2 points of paradox.
Yes.
Do I think they were aware of my try?
You don't think they're aware specifically that someone tried to man scan them. The rest of you and any other awakened in the area might get a roll to do the sort of perception. In fact, you'll have perception awareness rolls. Something,
Hey.
the hairs on the back of your neck's gone. Somebody just sodded
Very-
up reality.
You get a stuffy feeling.
Who knows?
Yes, probably. That's like
But plus,
Yeah.
3 successes.
I have all my primal instrumentation on. I
You
think
get,
that's successes.
you get a stuffy feeling
Yeah.
and a sense of newspaper and numbers.
Yes, which you did also see, some of you anyway saw him do magic earlier today, so you might be starting to recognise that resonance.
And I think you might be able to imagine who it is in the
So
local
that's probably not the Nephandi.
Probably not the defence, no.
but him probably doing it.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I got nothing either.
You just hairs on the back of your neck have gone up. You're not totally certain what that is.
Okay, so
So the guy you two
I
can
guess all my instruments are pointing across the road, so him right next to me.
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
probably
neither-
your inference going ping, ping, ping.
But I'm
That
aware.
missed magical.
I'm aware.
you're aware.
I seen that one
You
off a
know
while
you
ago.
tried it and it didn't work.
I
Abe,
removed it from my readings.
recalibrated.
Yeah.
Abe, I just tried to. Have you spotted that chap over there?
Yeah, it looks like he's.
I
Right.
just tried to give him a little read. It went a bit wrong.
Right, he has
I'm not
peeled
sure.
away from the group of lads that are continuing down. He stops and goes towards the shop front.
Duck down
However,
in the
he
window.
doesn't. He doesn't head straight towards the door. Before he disappears into mist, you can see him. He's almost as if he's gone to the sort of side, but he's sort of going to stand against the wall and try and flatten himself and use this concealing mist to have a look around and get his bearings.
Okay.
Probably.
Do I pick him up with my mind sensors?
Yes, there is another mind outside the shop.
Could we do a? I could do a.
Um,
Arms around you.
You
feeling.
have life sensors, even though I say your character doesn't really know about putting them up very well. Roll your arete. This
I
is
am
only
going
difficulty
to-
4, and this will be seeing if you detect that there is another man
As soon as I
outside the
see,
door.
as soon as I sense the guy outside, I am going to stop the mind sensors because I don't want him noticing my magic.
Okay.
Hoping that I notice him before he notices
Yeah,
me.
so you turn it off.
One.
1. Right, there is something else alive that is sort of person-y outside the shop. They haven't not yet approaching the door. They're against one of the sort of brick pillar bits where, because if you look quite big windows because it's a shop, but there's like a brick sort of column between them.
Yeah, I'm just going to remain perfectly still.
They're just flattening
and
against that.
silent.
So you guys see him sort of step back into this mist.
Mhm.
And he is reaching for something inside his jacket.
I was going to say, I was about to start trying to do some sort of matter scan. Subtly. In the way
Try a subtle mass scan.
I could find a weapon on him.
He is. Now you get a look at him. He's tall. 6'2" at least, if not a little bit taller. Looks very slim though. He's got what looks at first glance almost probably like a demob suit. Soldiers that have been returned, which at this point in the war is definitely due to massive injuries and things like that. If you are been demobilized from the army, you are given a small amount of civilian things, including a very characteristic cheap suit and jacket at this point. Which is towards the end of the war, and they start to become very common. They'll more be referred to as demob suits, but at the moment they're still known as like a ministry issue thing. It looks like one of those setups, but it looks kind of tatty. Also, it's not that it's June, and I said it hasn't been like a phenomenally warm June like we actually had this year in the UK, but it's still been June. He's got a scarf around his neck.
Right.
How did matter scan? We're just about to see how matter scanning goes.
Yeah, pretty good. It's probably a one effect, isn't it?
Okay.
Sphere 1, so
I
that's
need to tell you
difficulty.
something about your life actually.
Difficulty 4, so that would be 2.
2, marvellous. So, obviously there's squishy human there, but you're not very interested in squishy human life. It's something that happens to other people. Not literally. Squishy human.
Arrangements are not calibrated for people.
He's got a gun. That's kind of what he's reaching for in the pocket. So, small revolver-sized, doesn't ping off you as anything interesting or weird.
Right.
In terms of its matter composition.
Right.
He's got small other metal discs in his pocket. Those are probably coins, to a greater or lesser extent. Also, something that looks suspiciously key-shaped, or at least the right sort of size and resonance giving off for steel door keys.
Right.
However, also in the other inside pocket of his jacket, there is another metallic device that contains some form of electrical components, probably transistors.
I was just thinking we should have given these guys a radio.
And bear in mind, pocket radio is not a thing at this point.
Yeah.
They're
going
backpack
to
size.
Yes, realistically, the technocracy, or possibly the Etherites, might have smaller ones, but they're magical devices at this point, effectively.
I'm going to try and use telepathy
Okay.
with Ron
Mm-hmm.
to tell him the man is outside the building. No, and I'm going to send him the visual of what I'm seeing. Can I do it to both of the guys in the...
Depends on whether you roll.
Depends on whether you roll, yeah. Are you going to incorporate any of Abe's findings or
so
not, if he tells you about the gun?
If you're like mentioning things.
Well, yeah, I'll be mentioning it technically to myself and writing stuff down and making
I'm
notes.
peering over your
Yeah.
shoulder.
I'm probably making a mask. It's like a stick figure, and I've got like a gun symbol and like a radio transistor kind of thing here, and coins and key and that kind of thing.
I'm going to spend a point
radio transistor means.
I'm going to spend a point of willpower.
Understand
Yes.
radio.
I like
So
to
Peter's spending a point of willpower to give an automatic
Like
success on this roll. Probably
you
because he
don't
doesn't want to botch again.
That's one
So
success.
pick one of
That's
them.
level 3. So I've got 2 successes.
Oh, got 2 success. Oh, yes, with willpower, so that you can talk to 2 of
So-
them.
The image comes into your mind of this man waiting outside, scarf, cloak, the fog, and a little image of a stick figure with a pistol in his hand.
And probably Abe's pen sort of writing on it as you go.
So I'm literally looking at Abe's little notepad, and you can see that.
Ron is probably massively confused
and,
right now.
and I'll say, "This is Jeremy. This is what we're seeing from across the road."
That's weird. But believable, but weird.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably flicking his head around trying to see.
You got a success on the life, didn't you?
I did.
So, alive but not in the best of health is probably a fair point. Not talking like poor Marty who was falling apart at the seams, but this person is not well.
What, as in like cold or worse?
Probably looks like that.
There we go. There's
Too
a little
bright.
bit.
Have a look. Too bright.
No.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
I can't see.
Well, the players can see it even if the camera.
Hold it up with your hand over. Put your hand over the top like that.
Sort of.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Well, there we go. So not like imminently about to drop dead of consumption, but not well. and probably has some form of serious infection.
Okay, alright.
Well, he's probably also about to have some
Bullet holes.
yes.
He's
lead poisoning.
Yeah.
But he hasn't got a knife or anything else. That's right.
not a knife or anything else you can see immediately, no.
Do you have the bullet?
No. It's almost certainly not him anyway. The bullet was for the.
No.
master.
I'm just thinking about.
Harry had the bullet
Harry
last
fixed the
one.
bayonet.
Right. Okay, so, you guys both.
You mean bayonets?
You guys at this point see a stirring in the mist, and that's about it, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But you see the top of the door, and you definitely see it swing open. He's got a key for this as well, because you can hear it turning in the lock where you are.
I've lost him off my scout.
I'm pretty certain, even if you couldn't lock it from correctly, mysteriously Charlie can make it be locked.
Awesome.
He can make things be unlocked. It's kind of a similar skill set.
Similar skill, just backwards.
Yeah, exactly. What were you saying? Are you talking to Jeremy? Or?
Yeah, we were just like looking
I've
out
lost
the window.
So the
confused,
door
yeah.
opens and the door closes.
Intended to wait for him to fall or get
Right.
too close.
So he's walking carefully. You can sort of see the mist moving. He definitely looks like he's taken out whatever was in the jacket pocket.
Yeah.
You didn't see the sketch. Oh no, you did see the sketch. So
Even if I didn't, I think my experience would probably tell me he's pulled a gun.
yes,
Yeah.
and you hear a few sort of suspicious and familiar clicks as well.
Yeah.
And then he starts to make his way over towards the stairs.
Okay. Good.
Now,
Yeah.
Roger laid an excellent trap earlier today.
Yeah.
And has laid down some excellent mist, which will give him the opportunity to spot the excellent trap and the excellent mist.
Excellent mist, sir.
Well, yeah.
And he
Yeah.
does roll well, but probably not quite as well as Roger's trap. So there is a click, then there is the sound of breaking wood. Because he did roll quite well, he realised what was happening once he was in it fairly quickly, so he's going to land pretty well down where by you are, but he's gone through the floor. Literally, there's one of the boards up by you probably bounces out, it's not nailed down that well anymore, as literally the bits that you weakened give way, and he falls, but effectively through the top of the staircase type area, down to the floor below.
I'm going to move up and try and get a view on what's below so that I can provide fire support from above.
Right.
I'm going to kneecap him.
As soon as the
So your
knees come
response
through.
to everything is just, I should have the knee.
Apparently this is a well-known Canadian captain.
No, it'd just be rude to kill him outright. We're trying to talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay,
Much
roll,
easier if they can't run.
roll your dex and firearms. He is not going to be able to dodge very much, so will not be very difficult to hit. Because when your legs are falling through the floor, it's quite tricky to dodge. However, he is falling through the floor relatively quickly, so the end
You may get shot in the
the end difficulty is about 6.
I'm going to spend a point of willpower to get an ultimate. Oh, Christ.
That's
One.
it.
You needed
That's-
1 from the willpower. Right, okay. So,
Unfortunately, I rolled 2 ones.
Oh,
fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
oh dear.
Listen, he can't really dodge, but yeah, right. It hits him and it wings him. You see some red.
Do I need to roll damage or anything? Because winging from a high caliber rifle
Rifle is still pretty heavy. Yes, we do. We sorted out the damage of your gun, didn't we?
We did. But
This isn't your gun.
Oh, is it the rifle you're using?
yeah,
Similar.
rifle.
Alright, have we got a standard rifle damage sorted out?
Yes.
If not, marvellous. There we go. Do the same thing as that then.
I may not know magic, but I know guns.
You didn't get any extra successes. Effectively, if you've got lots of extra successes, they add to the damage you've done. But so you just get the flat damage of the weapon.
So I just roll these here?
Yep, if that's the damage of that weapon.
What do I
Yep.
need?
And 6s.
3.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Um,
You're gonna feel that.
He's definitely going to feel that. So there is blood, and it's
Yeah,
from his knee, basically. It's blood and from his knee.
Injured.
Yes.
You would say
-1 to all dice pools.
you've
Apart from
clearly
Arate.
really hurt him. And he lands and he yells.
Is he going to fall over after dropping and then getting shot in the
he's
leg?
he's going to fall over. He's not even going to stand up to fall over. It just becomes a controlled fall.
He lands
But
on
what I was going to say is someone
On
who's
point.
had sort of military and police training, it is just that it's a controlled fall. So he knows how to sort of
Tuck and roll.
go tuck and roll. He's actually thought about this. Yeah, he's definitely had training in things like that. It might even be, say, parachute fitting type training.
If it is, I would probably recognise that.
Yeah.
Being a
Actually, that's a
paratrooper
fair
myself.
point. Yes, you are. Yeah, no, it does. He falls like someone that's been taught to fall from greater heights than he is currently falling.
But with more help.
And
But with more help, and hopefully not holding his knee.
At the sound of the rifle shot going off across the road,
Yeah,
I will
all of you
finish
now
the
hear
end
this.
of my pint, tuck the paper under my arm, and look at Abe and say,
Well, as soon as he went
Maybe
outside,
we should go.
I was basically frantically getting
yeah.
stuff into a bag.
I think it's happening.
Yeah.
Right. He falls down.
That
You
bit
can
in there?
look through the hole. You can
No,
see
don't touch
again,
it, really.
tall, slightly slim man. He's got a shot in the knee. There is blood. There is a yell. He's
What
conscious,
is it?
but he is.
Yeah, I was going to say what's he?
He has fallen over in a fetal position, and he is clutching the bleeding knee
Okay.
with both his hands.
Where's the
Can
gun?
The gun is. The gun has been dropped because he's grabbed his
Okay,
knee.
can I basically put my foot on him, put the bayonet to him, and go, you move, and the next one's in your head?
Yep, I think you can definitely say that. Do you have intimidation? You don't have to have. Someone putting a bayonet to your neck is still pretty bloody intimidating if they don't have the skill.
The Canadians are just so friendly. They never talk.
Roll your
Never taught
charisma just for the sake of argument.
Just my charisma.
If you
Yeah.
botch, you manage to. You manage to
Spend a
sound
point
the
of
monster.
Spending a point of willpower.
Fair enough.
I don't know what the difficulty is.
Difficulty was 6.
It's
One.
generally 6,
2 for my
unless
willpower.
otherwise.
as
Right,
well.
marvellous then. Yes, you sound too intimidating. I said he's dropped the gun to grab his knee.
Yeah, basically bayonet to the throat. Like,
He is going to continue to sort of and swear and stuff because he can't really stop himself.
yeah. That
But
I
he
kind of
doesn't
understood.
move to get up or reach for his gun. No. You can see that he's basically got his bayonet against
And
his neck.
I'm going to tell my dog to basically stand over and growling, because that's also pretty intimidating.
Yeah, something just behind his ear just starts to go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to drop down next to him.
Right, okay.
It's going to be quick.
Something else falls through the
You
hole.
might want to come through down the stairs. It's probably a bit more controlled.
You can the stairs are going to open in the basement anyway. You can just you can get down there expediently. That is
Yes,
not a problem.
I'm wanting to make sure his gun is away from him, and I also want to find out what was in the other pocket.
Yeah, get whatever he's carrying out of.
So
Yes.
I
You
would,
literally-
but you know.
You're busy. it's
you
fine.
left stuff down here from when Marty was down here. There's a sort of old radiator and Marty's blanket. You just kick the gun somewhere into them for now. It's out of the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brief look looks exactly, or almost exactly like the one you swapped out earlier today.
What, the gun?
German officers.
Standard German officer gun.
Oh,
Okay,
it's,
great.
it's a Luger.
Mm.
They're pretty infamous by this
Yes,
point.
it has gone under what the sort of blankets that went for Marty's bedding at the moment.
And then I'm going to go for whatever's in his other pocket.
Right, okay. Are you two heading across the road? Charlie just sort of mysteriously appears out of a bit of street corner, not even the misty bit. Goes, shall we?
Yeah. He's gone inside, and then there was a bang,
Bang. Right, let's go quickly then.
which I don't think was the noise of the
I'll catch you
pistol.
All right, well, let's go. Right, Charlie pretty much sprints across and looks down. You hear the door open above and a sort of East London accent with ever such a slight hint of Cantonese. It's all right, lads, I think they got him. To you two, basically.
Well, of course, they're both capable chaps.
Right. He is, yes, he's on the floor,
I'll
you
slow
kick the
down.
Luger. Right, you reach in and basically what you take out is a black, probably Bakelite at this sort of stage, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
Black Bakelite box. There's a dial on it. Looks not dissimilar to some of the stuff he uses. It's not a radio as far as you're aware. I mean, the few weeks you've really had in this country, you've gathered that the technocracy guys are doing clever instrumentation stuff that you didn't know about, but it doesn't look like anything you recognise as a radio. There's a little dial on it.
It's a thing with a dial on it.
Yeah.
Okay, does it have any switches or anything that I could turn off?
It has a switch on the side which is currently switched to one position. The dial's moving. You could try switch it to the other
I'll
position.
try switching it to the other.
Dial stops.
It explodes.
Alright, cuff him. And if you don't have
You're
cuffs,
lucky we're not
left,
jamming this game.
left pouch.
You probably haven't got cuffs.
I
but
probably haven't
He
got
has a
that.
left pouch. Right.
Okay.
You come in. There's a giant wacky great hole in the floor. Our Canadian friend lays excellent traps.
And you probably see me stood basically 1 foot on him, bayonet to his throat, gun pointing at his head.
Looking
blood.
manly.
There is blood everywhere again, though.
Again.
Okay. Well, it's Ron.
He's alive?
I've
He's
turned up
alive.
a minute after.
Yes.
Again, I don't move very
Yeah,
quickly.
I'll
You turn it off and the needle stops moving. Excellent.
awesome.
Um,
I'll put that
Could you
again.
pass that up
afterwards.
here?
Give me a second.
Okay. As soon as he is obviously no threat, I'm going to treat the wound.
Okay.
Basically, just
With
stop
the
him
stain.
bleeding out.
Okay, yep, excellent. So do intelligence and medicine.
Can I use a life to try and stop it bleeding?
You can. So the best thing to do normally is do a life and medicine roll to get an intelligence medicine roll to get some idea of where's actually wrong and all that kind of stuff, so you're not wasting the magic. Yeah. But so you're not, but exactly what veins are there and all that kind of stuff. So you're not wasting the magic.
I'm assuming so.
Marvellous. So difficulty 6, pretty much necessary otherwise. So you can now make your magic roll, and it will definitely be coincidental because everyone's seen you clearly applying first aid to the wound.
Yeah.
So just roll your arete. You're trying to improve things, so it'll be difficult just with 5.
Middle choir.
0.
But not a botch.
Not a botch.
Right, then. But you've still treated the wound.
So it's just treated
you
conventionally.
Packed it and you're starting to around it. Now you're sort of vaguely up close person. Again, this is a demob suit, but it's really battered. If you had to put a thing, say maybe someone that's been sleeping rougher in some of the nastier shelters.
Or in this basement.
Or in this basement,
I felt bad for him.
conceivably.
I'm a caregiver, that's why I tried to help.
And he could use a bath or 3.
Don't shoot him then.
He had a gun. I knew he had a gun.
Exactly.
He had it out, so I shot him.
Yeah, he's
Also,
I
yeah.
didn't murder him.
responsible for kidnapping.
Yeah, I also didn't shoot him in the head.
I am going to retrieve the gun. Now that things are a bit more under control.
Yes.
And and if he hasn't come down, I'll take the device up to him.
No, I'll be.
Roll
I won't be jumping down. No, I'll be
perception
coming down
and
carefully.
awareness.
I think we should get a van and get him out of there.
Yeah, I just want to look at that and make sure it's not dangerous first.
Ron,
I'll go and call for a van.
as you're very close to
One
him,
success.
once you start treating the wound and obviously the instant, oh my god, my kneecap is broken, starts to subside, very much under his breath, he is repeating the passage from the Bible of the Valley of the Shadow of Death.
Okay. One success.
In English with an English
In
accent?
English with a British accent. English with a British accent, yeah.
British accent. It's quite weird.
Slightly northern, sort of posh northern, basically. Posh,
So he sounds very much like my character then.
So, yes, possibly from the north, but went to a good school. Yeah, so possibly sounds good.
I'm not sure I'd pick up on
British
the accent,
accent.
to be honest.
He sounds British.
As much as I would love to say, yeah, I definitely know.
He
Sounds
British.
like him.
Alright, he sounds like him.
him.
Okay, that I'd...
Yeah. He's
And
English,
you'd probably pick up he was Scottish or
you
whatever
probably
as well.
Scottish.
Oh yeah, I could
from
probably tell the
family
difference between
background.
English and
Possibly
Scottish,
got
but
Scottish grandparents or parents.
But not
presumably.
Scottish.
it would probably take a bit. Well, I'm probably Irish.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Cannock's pretty good with
Yeah,
accent.
Also, I thought that, you've probably got
But
Scottish.
telling the
With that
different
surname,
regions
you've
would
got-
probably be very awkward.
With that surname,
He sounds like you.
He's
That I get.
English rather than Scottish or Welsh.
One success on
Awareness
perception and
roll.
awareness.
There is a, you think, relatively trivial but nevertheless an effect on the gun.
Is he awakened?
It's difficult to tell in these sort of circumstances. You have mind stuff, you're probably the best person to be able to tell.
I'm not going down there because I'm
No,
likely to
but-
fall down the
But
hole.
you're in
So I'll
reasonable
wait till he.
proximity.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can check in.
Or prime stuff.
I've got
it kind of
prime,
has-
I've got mind.
If you're in a sort of calm situation and they're in a calm situation, you meet socially, it's relatively easier. In these sort of situations,
Sure.
Can I pick him up and take him upstairs?
you are more than strong enough. Right, Abe and the weird box.
Giving me the weird box.
I've given you or let you.
How
come
are
down
you
and
in your
take
weird
the
box?
box.
Yeah,
What are you
yeah.
doing with your weird box?
Well, I want to
So,
look at it first as if it's anything obvious and then,
it was a multimeter. It's been
modified.
modified.
Okay, well then I'm just going to put it on the ground down here and then I'm going to scan it from
Right.
the outside. Like an X-ray equivalent kind of thing to see if I think it's dangerous.
Okay, are you just putting, basically you'll be doing magical senses, or are we
Yes.
doing perceptions and awarenesses? And
No, we're doing
magical
matter scanning.
To do
senses.
some magical senses to
And
find out
prime
what
scans.
kind of effect is on this gun, if I can identify it.
Yes, you can try.
I'm going to mind scan him to see if he's.
And again, Ron's going to carry him out, basically. Charlie will go and put a call
That'll
in.
do.
That'll do.
Yes, Charlie will go and put a call in to somebody to get something.
Sure.
You've probably been left with a number of Harry's officers. So.
One.
So I don't succeed to start with.
Right, 1. So, okay, senses are up.
So yeah, basically matter and prime scanning to see if I can work out if it's magical and if not, what's inside it.
Yes, it's magical.
Well, even if it is magical, what's inside it too.
It is magical. The resonance on this is vile. It's not even this sort of cold petrol type thing that you've got of things associated with this guy before. You honestly want to be sick. It's like putrid flesh and like rusting metalwork, and then something else you can't even identify, but it's unpleasantly like ozone. It's just
One of the advantages of using equipment for this kind of thing is that you get it less personal.
That's true, but it is genuinely sickening. You feel an urge to wash your hands having touched it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, having done magic near it, slightly your soul a bit as well, which are hard to wash. It's icky, really.
So
icky.
entropic.
Yes, heavy entropic resonance. You have not knowingly previously encountered a device made by a fallen Magi, but if you did, you strongly suspect this is what they would feel like. Feels awful.
Can I have another go?
Yes, you can have another go. It has a correspondence time effect on it. The correspondence one is fairly powerful. It also has a life scan on it, but that appears to be the one that has been turned off, but the other two are still active. And the time one is counting down to about a month. And being a very precise person that takes very great care, it's cutting down to the exact same date and time as your typewriter back at the office.
I got a success.
You got a success, right? There is a minor entropy wrote on it.
Could be useful.
Could be useful, yes. Not an
Back to
uncommon
the German
enchant.
gun.
So it's got a minor entropy wrote on it. Your gut reaction is it isn't quite as straightforward as just a shoot straighter type idea. And yours is better than this as well. It's more minor. But there's something on it. Maybe it doesn't jam, something like that. Maybe it's been ever so slightly entropid.
I got 3 successes on a mind scan.
Right, okay. Now because he is a mage, it's a defense roll. Right, you get a couple of flashes. Are you sort of doing sort of surface thoughts? Or...
I'm punching in.
Right, okay, so
What's going on?
Right, he does manage to negate some of your successes, but you still get through.
Okay.
He's abjectly, nearly suicidally miserable right now.
Yeah.
There is lots of sort of odd images running through his mind, some of which are deeply unsavoury, almost all of which hurt. He is a very confused individual.
Like things he's been exposed to or inflicted upon him.
But little from column A, little from column B.
Okay.
But
maybe some place where they keep people and torture them.
Potentially. He is also, though, there is definitely, though, this sort of, abject image of suicidal, but it's not at the surface right now, but there definitely is the potential for violence there. If he was capable of it and thought he could do some violence to you lot and get away, he would.
And I can tell he's awakened.
Yes.
Do I get any vibe on...
Again,
really
you've never...
I've got one prime.
You've probably never encountered a fallen, for a very good reason. And a Fandus. If it's that you thought they'd feel a little bit worse. It doesn't feel quite bad enough.
Kind of halfway.
Still pretty
Maybe
messed up.
on the road.
But you very much doubt this is what it's like to come into contact with a fully inverted avatar.
Sure.
You've read accounts, they sound worse than this.
So if any of us were... I'm thinking that if any of us were a Euthanatos, I think he would probably be shocked about that.
Yes, if any of you were Euthanatos, someone would be reaching for their gun and it wouldn't be him.
Wrong road.
Yes.
He needs to be put on the news cycle.
Yeah.
Try again. Better luck next
My
time.
old...
Bang, yes.
When I used to play Matthew Stanley, Thanatos, that was good fun.
God knows how many people. Anyway. Exactly, yes. Better luck next time.
People, didn't
No, he shot them with darts.
He had darts that had...
Poisons.
Yeah.
Cyanides,
Euthanasia was like... with correspondence.
There's this old blind guy who used to throw darts.
It was awful. Anyway.
He had correspondence magic to
And
tell what
most
people
of
and
the
things
time
were.
he hit the people he meant to as well, so it's all right.
And he also was someone who often found that doors were unlocked.
They were, yes.
Yeah.
Mysteriously doors
They
unlocked
forgot to
and
lock the
unlocked.
door.
Right. So that's where you are. You have first aided it well. You've not life magic it, but you first aided it well. He's also got a fever. You can feel that touching him. He's really warm. So he's probably got something else going on. And you actually made quite a decent medic roll, didn't you? Okay, so there is something going on. Basically, if you go to touch his back to lift him up, the shirt's wet and it's not sort of water. You think he's got some sort of injury or wound back there. You can almost feel some bandages, but whatever it is, it feels like it's soaking through.
Okay, so basically he's going to need a bit more medicine than first aid.
Yes, at this point, yeah. He needs penicillin. Right, what are you guys doing? You are in the you're in the room of the shop, well away from the traps of the two of you that are likely to fall down them.
I'm going to say he's awakened. There is a great potential for violence deep down inside him. He's been exposed to some horrible things, both in proximity and directly.
He has extensive wounds beyond...
Probably from torture and some sort of experience.
On the back. However, he does appear to be paratrained.
Maybe someone who...
The way he landed, I'd recognise that anywhere.
Charlie's put the call in. Was anyone else imminently doing anything?
Can I just look to see if he's got any ID on him? Like a lot of ex-squaddies still wear their tags, for example.
Yes, he in fact has. He has effectively the correct sort of paperwork to show someone that asked for paperwork. It says.
This is not the same paperwork as us.
No.
He's got
his ration book. He's got his ration book. He's got a card that says he is he has been medically discharged following wounds following wounds received at Dunkirk. He has been medically discharged. So some years ago, but he's got his paperwork.
4 years ago.
He was a paratroop.
I was going to say, anyone that's looking at the things in detail, roll your perception and streetwise.
Oh. Yeah, we'll have to look.
No,
not that
I'm
I've
looking
gone
at the
streetwise, but I'll make a... I might as well make...
Actually, Adam, you roll anywhere and roll on craft, given what your character's
What's the
trade
difficulty?
was. Difficulty 6.
2.
Ooh.
So what was it? So what crafts?
Crafts.
Oh!
Perception.
Oh my word.
Oh my god!
A colossal epic botch.
1, 1, 1.
Minus
2,
3.
Yeah, minus 3. So I know nothing.
They look perfect.
Do you just headbutt a wall or something?
I'm still those horrible
Exactly,
images
you
going
can't
around in my mind.
concentrate on it.
Yeah, I didn't botch, thankfully, but I did.
You feel really sorry
So
for
you
him.
got,
that he went
you didn't
through
get
it.
anything. You got 2. Colin
two.
got 2. Right, both of you suspect these papers to be a forgery.
The ID is fake.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
His name is Thomas Johnson. Got an address on it and everything for somewhere towards Mile End. It's not a million miles from here.
That's fake.
Yeah, it's completely. Now that they mention it, the quality of the printing's rubbish.
I'll try.
I wasn't really paying attention.
No, you weren't looking at them.
Unless his were very different to
Adam
the ones
Way.
I had drawn up when he arrived. That's fake.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus side, it also means he's not carrying the paperwork that means we
No.
Yeah.
No,
That would
you're
have just been
good.
embarrassing. We
And
just
it would have
drop-
been a weird ally.
we drop the ally and then the defender turns up.
Yes, we're all kind of like...
checking his
Well,
body.
amusingly, I did serious. I was about to say this anyway. Make perception and awareness rolls.
Oh,
So what was that guy's name?
hello.
It says his name is Thomas Johnson.
This is my specialty.
I botch. No, I don't botch because I got a success. I
You just-
failed.
Don't notice. Difficulty 6. 1.
1.
1.
2.
Right.
That's 7.
All 3 of
Minus
you.
1.
Something is coming around the corner that is, describe it as magical, but definitely not quite normal.
I'm going to level my gun and point at the door.
I shall prepare my mind map now.
I shall not notice and carry on
right.
oblivious.
Charlie-
Motion was reading
Charlie
something
was
unusual.
Charlie was making a phone call and is coming back, and outside you hear Charlie go, "Oh fuck, Nick. Okay. Hello, mate. Yeah. What do you want?"
I'm going to cautiously walk around the corner.
Yeah, I'll step out with him.
Right, there is a man standing, talking to Charlie. He appears to be in his late 40s, very trim and well presented, got quite a nice suit hat, jacket on, light jacket, summer's night, light jacket with suit, carrying a very small, not quite a doctor's bag, but that sort of mini hold-all weekending type bag. Charlie obviously recognises him.
Okay, I'm going to give the standard response of Holt who goes there.
I'm still on the
Can
corner.
we help you?
My gun's still
Would
pointed.
you by any chance be Harry's boys?
Oh, I assume you've got some paperwork.
Yeah. Am I right to paperwork?
I'll nod. I'm going to keep the gun on him
Yeah,
until
I'll
I get
take
the...
it.
My name
until I
is
get the dog.
Nicholas Taylor. Nick, or Old Nick, to my friends.
Yep, all seems...
Sorry, sir.
Right, Pete, you are the mind specialist, I
Yes.
believe. Has anyone else got mind?
Is someone still in with the guy?
Have you got? Yes.
I presume one of...
Mine is actually.
Well, my dog will be
my
if none of
The
us
dog
are.
is, the dog is with him if no one else
I'm
is.
back
You're
there.
still in
I'm
there
still
anyway,
playing
yeah.
with the thing.
Right, you have one in mind, because you have one in most things.
Yes.
Right, you can just see it being there and see through it, though you may optionally choose not to. You are aware, right, there is something...
I haven't actually come out yet.
A good point, actually. No, you don't know. There we go, we're all working out.
You can tell me
Because
when he comes.
because it won't be until you've seen him, it won't really affect you. Right, you can see through it just because of how these things work. This guy has some form of glamour or enchantment or something on him to alter his appearance.
Okay.
What is behind the appearance appears to you to be like a leper or some sort of monster, or it's not good. It's not a good look. Suit's nice though. The suit is real.
Keep that gun there.
I'll snap the gun back on.
Got Harry's papers.
Come inside then. Keep that trained on. What is going on? Charlie,
Yep. Charlie sounds a bit strange, but yep.
what's...
Here's
It's not...
Harry and he have come to an arrangement.
Right.
This is your man who speaks the truth. Harry and I have come to an arrangement. I, too, am a denizen of the city and do not wish to proceed. So we've been helping one another out. I was supposed to meet you for supper tonight, I believe, but Harry's
Do you
been
regularly
away.
meet people in the evening?
Well, generally speaking, yeah. Not much of a not really an early bird, me. Not really at all. So yes, I've come to meet you anyway. I wish you. He said you might want to discuss something worrying I found in the Witch Deep Tunnel.
I think it was more the case that Harry had told us there was something worrying down there, and
Oh,
he
right.
better give us information.
Oh yes.
Does he seem at all bothered by the fact there's someone levelling a gun at him?
Not remotely. Which is a worry in and of itself. There's
yeah,
some
that's-
sort of glamour on him. You can't really get a glance
That's what I thought
properly
I'd
at what's
ask.
underneath, but there's something not right.
Most people tend to be a little bit that he's pointing a gun
Yeah,
with
no,
a bayonet on at me.
He looks.
And I'm clearly
Hmm.
seeing something rather disgusting.
Yeah, he looks
The
like
look on my face is
he's
like...
what the cat dragged in, basically.
How does
Mostly he smiles winningly. Yeah.
how does Ollie react?
It's a-
My dog.
an illusory
He's
appearance.
not like
Oh.
gone into full I will eat you, but he's he don't like the smell.
Are the papers right there?
The papers are the right papers.
Because I mean, Harry said he was a bit
No,
weird.
and Charlie knows him as well.
Ah, all right. Right. Can we probably put the gun
It,
down then?
I should say, probably.
Right.
Smiles winningly at everybody. Not you. Well, actually, no, he does smile winningly to
Yeah,
you,
but the
and you can
face
just see
underneath is-
Fang
Oh.
coming back.
Okay, am I aware of vampires and things
Have you
like
got
that?
anything in occult?
I have got 3 in occult.
Yes, you are aware of the existence of the kindred and have a very limited knowledge as to them just because they're very secretive and mages don't know that much about them. You are aware that the undead are a thing, definitely. You don't think they all look like this, though. You thought some of them were pretty, decorous and
Pretty,
and, yeah.
but some of them aren't.
Some of them aren't, no.
But I know he's undead.
Yeah.
He's undead.
Oh, well, you're a vampire.
Let's go for that, yes. Effectively,
There's
yes.
lots of different things.
Can I just
I'll
give
tell
you
you
the
about
glance
something.
of, should I put the gun
no, no.
down?
Keep the... Yeah, okay. Put it down, but have it ready. We don't know you.
No,
Do you know?
Just being-
that is
keeping
abundantly
precautions.
clear. Yes, no, he's probably a vampire. He's an undead. They come in different shapes, but
Sure.
this one certainly looks like a vampire. Nosferatu has come out. That was a film in the 30s, so you know.
Does it look like that
He
kind
looks
of...
a lot like that.
I
yeah.
probably haven't seen it. I'm probably just there going, I have no idea what they're talking about.
He looks like a guy in a suit.
You're aware they drink blood as well. I think both
Mm.
you and Adam have enough gossip to be aware they
Yeah.
drink blood.
Yeah, just watch out, because they might... He might try and get your blood.
Oh please, I've eaten
Oh, he
before
does
I came.
illusions by the looks of it, so...
I've eaten before I came. Yes. Anyway, as I said, my name is Nicholas.
It's like,
Nick, to my friend.
casually holding the gun, blade pointing in that.
Is it a sharpened piece of wood?
You want to go on the head with the sharp bit.
Are
The
you one of-
bullets won't do a great deal.
You know.
Is he just offering that?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the Giovanni?
I know some things about the Giovanni. Why?
Oh, I was just heard earlier that the
Italian nut jobs. Next.
yeah, there's a group of in Nephandi that's sort of working together, 4 of them. One of them's apparently got a lot of contacts with the Giovanni. He's working in North Africa at the moment.
Oh, that's useful. So I want to know anyone told me that. I can find out.
Well, apparently
Maybe let's focus on what we're here to talk about.
Oh, well, I just wondered if you know if this is true or not.
Is
Because
he going to
apparently
be
most vampires stay out of stuff.
all right?
I've stopped the bleeding. He'll be fine.
Good. Yeah, because if not, I'd hate him to go to waste.
I don't think
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't think you'd want to.
No, I'm not biting that in a million years. I'm kidding. Can we take a seat while we wait for the cavalry then, and I can show you what I saw in Aldwych? There's a tables over by the thing. Right, so
Take a seat. I don't think I'm going to be sitting down and.
Harry and I have reached a sort of understanding.
I will go and sit down and talk to him.
And there are some things that I can find that he can't find. And one of the things I do is I patrol the deep tunnels, make sure things aren't going wrong down there, make sure
Probably
there's
don't have to have
nothing.
that switched on down
Yes,
there, do you?
exactly. No one's looking. However, I came across. I've made a reasonable facsimile. I think he takes out of his bag like a basically rolled up paper tube. So I found this down here. Right, it's been scrawled in pencil. It looks a lot like you would instantly recognise it as a sort of hermetic. Effectively, it's a ritual space.
Okay.
That's been chalked out, and he's put dimensions on it and everything. He's measured it all, and it tells you how many eighths of an inch everything is apart. And it's sort of the paper
I'm
square.
impressed
It's
by
not bad.
the numbers.
Yeah, sort of a draftsman in another life.
Okay, that's some sort of
We came across this,
ritual area.
and this is definitely your lot, not my lot. I'm making sure my lot don't cause any massive problems, but that is your
Are all
lot.
can I tell if all the runes are pointing the right way up, or or some kind of indication that there are, it may not be for.
We have established you have a cult. Roll your
I do.
intelligence in a cult.
And I'm analytical.
You are, and that will work in this instance.
Okay.
I have nothing useful to
Are you coming over in this general direction as well? No, you're
It
still.
looks like some weird
So kind of
area.
like a
3
device.
with an explode, so that's 4.
Mhm.
And then 2 more dice.
You're doing well.
6 successes.
Right. It is specifically it is
Oh,
a.
dwarf.
Right, you've seen this, not 100% exact, it's been drawn by a different mage, there's different naming sigils, but you've seen exactly this presentation before. It's in one of the books you know what this is. So what this is,
Of course,
this
they're all
is
from the books.
this is effectively a correspondence rote. It's effectively communication. So you
Okay.
draw this thing exactly the same in 2 different places, and then people at the 2 different places
so
can communicate
sometimes
with each other. Yes, effectively.
This is like a long-range communication rote. So this allows you, when you're there, or just
When
you
you're
have to be there.
you have to be
So if
standing in
you're
the
standing
circle.
on it, then you can talk to someone on the exact same, scripture somewhere else.
What's done in blood, though? The blood is not in the book, and you know it's chalk.
And there's normally chalk.
Also, you can pick out the sigil bit that's the mage's name, whose magic this is.
Yep.
It's the same as the name on the bullet.
I will tell the guys that.
I shift a bit uncomfortably. This is all sounding a bit weird.
This allows whoever is operating here to
talk
communicate
to the person.
to the person.
Probably Francis Gilbert. Sorry, my phone call. I talked to someone. Apparently, the actual name of that person when he was part of the Hermetic Order was Francis Gilbert.
Hermetics, yes, often don't use their birth to.
Oh, yeah,
names,
yeah.
as it were, amongst each
Yeah.
other.
But at least unless there's 2 Nephandi that stole a bunch of. There were ex-Order of Hermes that stole a bunch of Crimean.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, I found this down in the deep tunnels.
So this talks to your typewriter location. Probably. Someone is torturing people, conditioning people, capturing, awakened, forcing them to do work for them in that location, sending them to London for some nefarious means, as we've seen, and using that as a communication. And that's down the Aldwych tunnels.
Down the Aldwych tunnels. So Aldwych, for those of you, Aldwych is a tube station. It's kind of built and then fairly soon afterwards mothballed because it was really near 2 other tube stations, and effectively was built as a bit of a vanity project for somebody anyway. However, what it has made is an excellent deep shelter, because it was designed to take the Piccadilly line, which is one of the deepest lines of the London Underground. You are at least 20 metres deep if you're on the Piccadilly normally. So it's been basically completely cleared out, filled with metal bunks, and a significant portion of the population of that area of London that live near there use it as a nightly shelter. It's organised enough that there's little soup kitchens down there now and proper toilet facilities, and basically he can try and explain to you where it is. It's obviously not in that bit because more people might have noticed. But there's still shafts. Yeah, there's still shafts.
Quiet, we're trying to sleep.
There's still shafts to get down towards where the train lines themselves would go, and it was down one of those, which he informs you he uses as a route into a different set of tunnels, which he often frequents.
Could you get any idea of who made it?
Not really my specialty.
Was it him?
I don't know.
I'm going to
Could
nod
you
at the
smell
guy
the
on the
same
floor.
blood coming off that guy's leg?
I don't know, let me get a bit nearer and I'll do that. Yep.
Same blood.
Oh, it was his blood.
Yeah.
So this guy's blood was used to make that circle.
Using your own blood isn't that unusual.
Bit weird though.
I'm going to get the guy to roll onto his front, and I'm going to look at the wound on his back. I'm trying to determine if I think it was self-inflicted or done to him by someone else.
Right.
And how recently?
And how recent.
There's a dressing on this, but it's not brilliantly done. Partially, it's really difficult to dress your own back. But someone has made a stab at it. As soon as you go to peel it off, you can smell that it's infected. It doesn't smell right. Again, but you're not particularly squeamish. You're used to, you've come across animals with wounds and all this kind of stuff.
And I've probably skinned them and
You
done that on myself.
pour it back.
Not people, to clarify.
And more their skin.
It looks like basically his back is absolutely a mass of cuts and bruises and strokes and scrapes and skin coming off. And
Cigarette, anyone?
Examining it, do I think it was self-inflicted?
I don't see how it would be.
So looking at the way the wounds are, someone...
Yeah.
Okay, well,
some of them are in better nick than others. Some are cleaner than others. Some are infected. Some are old. Some are healed. Some are not.
okay, how recent
Some are borrowed, some are
are the
blood.
most recent ones? In my
There's
estimation.
certainly no super fresh ones. We're talking at least 3 weeks, if not.
Okay, so
More
wounds.
like
When
6,
was
yeah.
this found?
3 nights ago, blood was, I'd estimate, about 12, 15 hours old. So we're talking middle of last week.
So this was disguised blood, but it wasn't from one of these wounds.
No. If you
Well,
start
let's
to
get in
do,
the fridge.
if you
Yeah.
start to do a proper look, he does have another wound there that's much cleaner and been more properly dressed.
Okay, and that one I suspect is recent. Okay.
So
Does that look
the
like
two
it
things
was
could be
done?
not related. Then.
That looks like self-inflicted, yeah. That's
Okay.
always falls down.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, he's created this.
What I'm wanting to establish is do we think we have evidence that there's more than one of them currently kicking around?
yes.
In
He
Oh,
was
I know.
clearly talking to someone.
Yes, but in London. He was talking to someone probably,
Would doing
German.
it in something like blood increase its potency?
and it depends on how you're doing it.
Willingly given blood.
Nick is basically like, not my area.
Maybe
Willingly
that-
given blood
maybe
can often
this-
be used to. You can give up some of your own blood. Actually, it's the type of thing that you guys can do. You should, yeah. But you can give up some of your own blood to get
Yeah.
primal energy.
Yeah,
You
life
two,
juice.
have both heard that, and also it's the Chorus use it as well. Heart's
Yeah.
blood is one of the most widely known Chorus roads, which is bleeding your own life essence for quintessence, basically.
I could do it, but I wouldn't probably do that.
It's unsavoury practice as far as I'm concerned, but it can be used. Definitely. It's power. I mean,
itself
blood is
is not-
powerful for these
The
creatures.
practice itself is not that corrupt. It's something your tradition's quite known for.
I'm not suggesting corrupt. It's just not to my
You'll
liking.
have to forgive me. I'm very new to this.
But
Nick says, what I did until
No
I was sure for
evidence of another
Harry,
person.
I got a lump of board and took it down and put it over it because he said that messing it up. Because I only spoke to him on the phone. He said messing it up might alert wherever the other end goes. So I've just put a bit of board on it, and I've made. If it's still active, yes, but it's very difficult to tell without being there.
Knowing the symbols of this one, is there a way that we could listen in? The other end?
You could create the same ritual circle again,
but would you
but it
then
have to be exact.
And would you then be part of the conversation? We don't necessarily want to.
It would
say,
create a
hello,
link,
Mr.
and it
Nephandi,
would.
I'm right here when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It
There
would
is a
create an
messenger,
awareness. It would create an awareness.
And this is not a little correspondence spell, it's quite a serious road.
Yeah, I'm not really that powerful in correspondence magic.
It's more the problem that if the other end was the guy initiating it, if he was that powerful at correspondence, or he could conceivably hurt people at the far end of it.
Come through it and definitely see through it.
Definitely see through it.
Yeah.
That was my own concern with this
right
device.
now all he can see is the inside of a lump of old door panelling. But
We a lot to see down there anyway. I think it's probably primarily
No.
just for
but
two-way communication.
Harry
It's
said
just basically a long
Harry
way
said-
phone call. You can cross enemy lines
Exactly.
without a line.
Harry said don't disrupt it till he knew what it did. So it's got a board panel. I put a ton of rocks that unless you're like me or maybe built like your friend here, you're going to struggle to move. So no kids should get hold of it or anything. And I've asked the wardens down there to make sure no one goes down that tunnel. But that's not perfect. There's X many thousands of humans crawling down there every night, so it's sub-ideal.
I mean, it's also, like I say, it's also
one of my guys is watching it.
could
but
try to come through it.
He's not good at this yet, so we can't really jump out. Well, he could jump out in front and shit out of people, so they run away. But yeah, he can't really nicely tell children to go back to their mummies.
But you could also come through it, and you could send like a small number of men through it if you knew what you're doing.
If you're powerful enough,
Could do. And
for Charlie,
assumedly,
but
this.
that's big.
Oh yeah, you
That's
have to have
big
great skills.
That's what we're talking about.
That's
Someone
true.
with
We're talking
premium.
about a master and a prim, yeah. But that's,
We should destroy it.
Yeah, probably the most sensible choice.
Well, should
Until
we
I can have it
interrogate?
destroyed.
Should we question
Who said
him
that?
first?
Nick says I can have it destroyed.
Let's,
I mean, you could check as well if you want.
Let's
but
double it. I'd rather double check that with Howie before we do anything we can't take back. We've been there for three nights already.
He's going to be hard to get hold of for a while he's travelling.
Yeah.
Did Harry know what it was when you spoke to him?
No, but I hadn't given him. I literally
If you
talked to him
told
on the
him what it
phone.
is,
I said
tell us
it
to
looks a
get
ritual
rid of it.
circle. I can see. I tried to describe it verbally, but as I said, I am. Even with one
Fine.
of
Well,
my.
we're not going to go
kind-
there right now and do it anyway, are we?
Also, it's full of hundreds of people right now, so I strongly suspect you
We
go
have to
back
do
there
it
in the
during the
day,
day.
when I obviously can't come with you. But
I think we should question him before we do anything. It may shed some light onto exactly what he was doing and who he was talking
do
to.
you need me for anything?
Who's that, Charlie or Nick?
Nick.
Unless you're very good at questioning people.
I can imagine.
Not your lot. I tend to give them the heebie-jeebies.
Close up to them.
Your guys are better at spotting the wolf in the flock than your normal human.
Well, did you know anything about this Giovanni thing?
I know about the Giovanni, bunch of crazy ass necromantic vampires and a few human servants living south of Italy, utterly batshit.
Are there any in London or are this family or? Because, like I say, they're apparently working with
Nephandi.
one of the high up ones.
There isn't one in London, but there is one in the UK.
Right.
I could try and have a telephone call and arrange to speak to him or something.
Well, I don't know who deals with that kind of thing, but if like, from what I understand, they're like a crime family, like an organisation.
Yeah, they're effectively an organised crime, basically. Yeah. Just with some of you lot and some of me lot in them.
So could he be like secretly spying?
Sounds great.
It could. I shall speak to his person that oversees him.
Right, I was going to say, because that's my main concern.
We're all pleased to a certain extent. I'll speak to his, and him more so than most. I'll speak to his keeper.
And yeah, if you could find out, if he knows anything,
Right.
pass us along about this guy,
I'll ask.
because we don't know much about him. Other than there's this Italian founder that's working in North Africa. Other than that, we don't really know.
I'll
anything.
ask, but they are tricksy bastards.
But he's apparently a necromancer.
Yes.
He deals with dead things. So, but apparently this family also deal with
things. Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
also-
yeah, necromancers.
The deceased magic.
By which I don't mean me. I mean the normal ones.
Yeah.
You can make them move and stuff. Quite difficult.
But yeah, if you could find anything else about that, that'd be helpful.
Again, not my area.
Oh.
Right, in which case I shall leave you gentlemen to your night. I have other places to be. Harry knows how to get hold of me if needs be.
Let me just scan you with this thing. We'll see. I'm trying to work out how it works.
Wait, what? No, what is it?
Well, it's. I think it detects life. The things that are alive, and
Well,
we'll see what
then-
it does.
Oh, right, but then it's not no bloody luck with me, is it?
Well, I don't know.
I think that's what he wants to check.
Oh, fine, do it then. I promise you I'm as dead as a doornail.
Just trying to get a glance at that.
Yeah, you don't want to see his. You don't want to see his real face.
Sure. Scan him
I
with it.
could, it might be educational for you, you know?
Call you Boris.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. Seriously, someone talks to a film producer once, and then we end up with this shit for the next 20 years. Right, what are you doing? You're turning the box on.
Well, like I said, I've spent some time looking at it
Yeah.
and trying to work out how it works. Do I know how the life scan thing works on it?
Yes, it's live scanning, but you think it's scanning live readings. You think what it was doing probably was tracking his while he was carrying it in his pocket.
Right.
But it will work for you, like if you move it about. Yeah.
Okay.
I say the correspondence and time. The correspondence one is off at the moment.
Mhm.
The time one is counting down. Same as
Okay.
the
Oh,
other
the
one.
correspondent one is off.
He's off at the minute, but you can tell that it's there.
Right. Okay.
Are you going to scan it on him?
Yeah.
You can probably put it back on again. It's just a different button.
Yeah. No, I don't want to put the correspondence thing back on.
Maybe the correspondence one is.
But yeah. Does it?
Down the radio.
No. You get the same read off him as you do at the table.
It seems to work. Thanks, Nick. Yeah. So this thing seems to.
Oh, cheery bye then. Right, he goes and lets himself out. And as soon as he's out the door and you can hear his footsteps around, Charlie just goes,
I don't think
I
I've
hate
ever
that guy.
seen anything
Oh
quite so
god, I hate that
disgusting.
guy. Oh god.
Sorry, you guys. That's it. He looked fine from there.
I hate
He
that
looked like
guy.
some sort of monster.
He does. I hate that guy. I really do. But Harry has managed some form of deal in a sort of,
Well, he hadn't told me about that before.
you scratch my back, I won't stick a knife in yours kind of deal. So,
I won't stretch you out in the morning.
yeah. But in return, none of his lot eat any of our lot that are down in those tunnels overnight.
Okay,
It's keeping the populace safe.
sure.
And the trouble is that, like, I mean, Nick's awful, but there are a couple of bigger ones that are awfuler, but all of them are fucked off because it's been raining fire for the last 2 years on and off. And that's a good decent nap to some of these guys. So they're either fucked off really deep or really off.
Okay.
So Nick's sort of holding their end up at the moment.
So,
Don't
But he
like
frightens
it.
the living shit out of me.
I
I'm
don't like
convinced
it.
he's going to eat me at any given point.
well, he seems to be helping.
Harry says I've got an overdeveloped prey animal instinct. I think I'm going to get eaten at any moment.
I've heard
so
some-
How would you stop one?
Cut the head off,
Sunlight,
burn it.
burn it. You
Or
can stake it, but
You
they,
can stake
they
it,
just
but as
like,
soon as you take the stake out, they move again.
yeah, they just keep them still, like paralysed.
Like wood?
Like literally, like table leg, sharpen the end, whack it through his chest. It lays down. It won't go anywhere.
Best bet's fire.
Pocketbook?
Best bet's
Make
fire or take the head off.
Steak.
You completely decapitate them.
If you can do a fireball or
Like you can put a stake with a piece of wood through their chest and incapacitate them, then surely that makes taking the head off a lot easier.
Yeah, that is also
Absolutely.
true. Or setting them on
Absolutely.
fire.
You just
easier
got to
as
get
well.
quite close to stick a
Things,
stake
things,
through their
things that
chest.
can't move set on fire surprisingly easy. Anyway,
I've also heard that. Well, I know there's some
Fire.
history of unfortunate. Yeah,
And you've got 3, so you can create fire.
I have heard of. There's been a couple of attempts to sort of eradicate them because people think they're very bad, and it's tended to work out badly. So I wouldn't necessarily.
Well, I
Start.
assume it's like poking a hornet's nest.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on going hunting them, but if one turns,
I was going to say. Yeah.
the other thing you two would both know as the mages that have been at this a little while, and even you might have heard rumours of these things a little bit, but less so Roger, unfortunately, at the moment. Prime energy directly hurts them.
Yes.
And badly.
Just I would have been probably had that explained
Yes.
to me by a chorister
Who
about
taught you prime magic? Yes.
Prime magic.
It's pretty vulgar and unpleasant. If you discharge prime energy into them.
I think there's also ways of like you can put quintessence into a weapon.
Oh yeah,
Probably
yeah.
not like a bullet, but like
You
a
can.
blade.
No, you can do
And
both.
then it starts cutting. I mean, yes, it would do it on a bullet.
Yeah,
and you
that's-
get a bullet.
That's the
whereas-
problem with it. Yeah. So fire.
Fire is good.
But
I mean,
Or, just find some werewolves and get them to kill it.
Charlie-
that's what I
Charlie's
frequently
is
spend
the-
time
I
doing.
get
the look of.
Anyway.
That's another story. Charlie's like the other way.
Actually,
of not
you're from the wilds of Canada. You probably
Yeah,
heard
you
about
probably
werewolves.
getting stories, but yeah.
Sorry, Bigfoot.
Don't forget, my guy has only awakened incredibly recently.
Yeah, but this is still the world of darkness. You're from the wilds of.
They're
You're a
probably
wild.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, but stories.
But I would. Charlie says the other way of not getting eaten by a vampire is as soon as you see a fucking vampire, have an urgent need to be half a mile away. It's what I've been doing fairly successfully for the last 30 years on and off, and I strongly recommend
That seems to be your policy with a lot of things.
Yep.
so-
And I am still alive.
Yes, this is true.
And very important, at least to me.
But no,
Right.
it's one of the things that I've done a lot of is charging up weapons so they can hurt things that aren't normally easily hurt, like incorporeal, extra-dimensional entities, or
Ghosts.
other things. Yeah, well,
Charlie says also fucking hurts if you get hit with one of them. I just have nerves to point out.
yeah.
Getting fucking hurt with a prime
Yeah.
charge weapon. Fucking. Not that that's happened to me or anything, but it does hurt.
My master would normally, she normally asks me to, do it for
Charlie.
There was a girl.
extra-dimensional entities and things. I think it can also be effective against various different protective
Things.
effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Basically cuts through a lot of
But yeah,
sort of magical type effects that are supposed to be that are proof against
Or
magical
fields.
things.
Yeah, but it's quite expensive in the actual energy because you have to sort of invest it and then it works
Sure.
well. And that's just the problem with guns is that because rifles are probably better because you want that one bullet to hit because you have to sort of put.
Charlie says
That's a
your
good
mate on
amount
the
in each
floor over
item.
there is groaning.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
It's the wagon turned up.
What buttons were?
The wagon is turning
What
up.
was this in when you first picked it up off of them?
That was flicked the other way and the needles came back and
Okay.
forth.
Was it on when?
It looks like it was on, yes. When you flip the leader back on again, the lights come online, the correspondence hasn't.
Right. Was the correspondence on before when from this the setting?
You didn't spot it, but it doesn't
So this
look
didn't
like
look like it was on.
It looks like the correspondence has been off. The
I
light
haven't
is...
properly looked at it. I
Right,
just
okay.
picked it up, put it on one side, and
Well, it's just that this dial here.
turned off the.
This dial affects whether or not it's the distant effect is, and I think what it does is it reads. At least one of the things it does is it tells who's holding it, if they're alive or what kind of state they're in. Also, I think it then communicates that at a distance. So that's why I'm asking if it was on, because otherwise they might know we've taken it off and or that he's been hurt. That's why I'm asking.
So it's not a live scanner.
Yes, it is, but it's quite close up,
Okay.
Okay.
and one person only.
Well, the wagon's here. I'm going to go scoop the guy up as carefully as I can because I know where his wounds
I'm
are.
pretty sure it's not communicating
Right.
anymore, but
the rest of you moving in that general direction as well.
We probably shouldn't take that near that circle then if we go there.
no, I was going to say I think it might reactivate or interact with it in some way. But who's good with correspondence?
Just
I think you both were alert. But yeah, if we could work out, where it was, you might want to look at it and see if you can work out where it's
I don't
connected to
normally
what.
deal with stuff like that, but yeah.
Well,
Should we get him on the wagon?
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's
I've
off.
literally picked
Yeah,
him up.
I'm
Okay.
He's picked him up and
sorry.
put him
I'm
on. They've come
pretty sure
with
it's not communicating anyway.
they've come with some basic medical supplies as well, if you need some extras.
This man needs penicillin.
Right.
I'm guessing they're not carrying that.
No.
Looks like this man needs a
Where
doctor.
they are proposing to take him is St Peter's and St Paul's, which is a hospital in the city proper, which
Is
is
there not one on an army base?
It's a military hospital, Navy specific.
Okay. You might want somewhere a bit secluded for this one.
Well, they're looking as if saying whether you're getting on the truck or not.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
we'll
on
go
the
with-
truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can
I
do to
think we
start
should
cleaning
check
it up
the
on the
sky.
way there?
Charlie's like, I
Yeah.
will close all this up, and then probably go to bed.
If there are any other traps that the guy didn't set off, I'm going to basically poke them to set them off so no one else gets hurt.
Yeah. Charlie's like, I'll lock it all up. It's fine.
Ah! That was me.
I'm not falling in. Again, I have a lifetime's experience of not falling in the shit. It'll be fine. Right. You get in said wagon.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. And I'll be whisked back west towards the square mile. Right. So, St. Peter's and St. Paul's. This guy is taken in to an area. The paperwork Harry has given you gets in his own room. St. Peter's and Paul's, it's an old building that's been added to a lot over the years, but you're taken into the sort of Victorian bit. They do say this has been a military hospital longer than the First World War. It was Navy originally, and they do a lot of complicated sort of surgery here and things like that. Well, for the 1940s, complicated surgery here. Most people who are inpatients here will be service personnel or occasionally the very near families as well of service personnel. They're not so much at the moment because that includes like half the population of the UK. But certainly if officers' children or wives are taken ill, this might be where they end up. He's taken into a room. An army of people with disinfectant and penicillin drips and things turn up and work on him.
I'm going to be making a point of ensuring that he's cured at all times.
Yes, they have had other prisoners of war here and things of that sort, including quite high
this
ranking.
one's very dangerous.
Yes.
Regardless of what his state may appear, if he's given a chance.
All right, we understand, sir. They will, as nurses say, and they will. Yes, he will be secured. They will start working on him. They won't sort of ask you guys to leave the room, but you will have to sort of slightly stand at the edges while they sort of sort this out. Colin has just found my dice triceratops.
I've just found Triceratops.
You better hold that up.
My dice triceratops.
Sorry.
That is cool.
That is awesome.
Diceratops.
Diceratops.
You made it, didn't you?
Yeah, I made them.
You made it?
Yeah. He did dice.
That's wicked. I have to have
So-
a photo of that for the channel.
Completely lost myself.
Sorry.
So, but you're sort of pushed back to the side of the room, or like the foot of the bed while they work on him. It takes probably about 45 minutes until the doctor you've been assigned is relatively happy that he's stable for now. He's given, he's had drips run, he's got penicillin going and fluid. He's starting to look a little bit more with it. And he stopped praying.
You stop what?
Praying.
He was praying. So the doctor says, right, well, he's stable enough for the night. I'll have ordered this stationed in here all night. Do you gentlemen wish to talk to him before you leave, or what do you want to do?
You're armed.
Yes, we will have armed guards on him.
Very
all
good.
night. We understand the paperwork you've given us is there are specific procedures for individuals brought in by your particular division. Do not worry.
Do you want to ask him some questions now?
Yes, I think we should.
He's still pretty infected. You'll probably get slightly better answers in the morning, the doctor says, but you can't hurt to start.
So what caused all of his wounds?
Gunge?
So do you want a rundown? Well, he's been shot in the leg. I'm assuming you noticed that one.
Yeah.
There are some self-inflicted wounds in different states of healing in his body. That is really between him and his own conscience. I have no idea why he would do it. He's got his, at some point in the not too distant past, not to put too fine a point on it, someone's beaten the living shit out of him fairly regularly.
Alright.
That's what the problem mostly is. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
Except that just reassurance that whatever did that to him isn't in the same city as me at the moment. That would be nice. But yes, I presume POW, something like that. We've had some pretty awful things from some guys that have come back.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like to me.
As far as we know, whatever did that isn't in the city.
Marvellous. But we have, in the nicest way possible, he's not the first prisoner we've had back that's been tortured. I'd love to tell you who they are, but they're not.
Yes.
That's what it looks like to me.
Right. Well, maybe you should ask him what the little box is all about.
Yeah, that would be useful if I could talk to him about that. I don't know how much he's going to share, but yeah. Assuming the foot comments have
Go over and see if he's awake and gently mind sense if he's actually
He is
sort of.
awake. He's slightly more compass mentis than earlier, but there's definitely still that sort of hair trigger that could
Sure.
go. He's quite well restrained.
Sometimes that can help, though. but he's slightly out of it.
No one's going to hurt you here. We just got a few questions for you.
Okay.
Abe?
So, like I said, I assume I've had it open and apart while
Yeah.
we've been waiting and that kind of thing.
It's put together by somebody with a.
Just putting it back together. Oh yeah, what does this do?
It's been put together by someone with a half decent technomantic paradigm. It's been nicely set up. It's correspondence. You suspect it is supposed to communicate the.
Communicate sneezes.
Yeah.
Life readings
Right.
to a remote location. If it was on somewhere corresponds to that place in that.
That's what I thought before.
As I say, and the timer is just counting down. That's just internal.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be counting down to doing anything that I can work out.
No, just at the same date as your typewriter part.
So yeah, it's got like a count. No, I'll explain what it does in a minute. But yeah, so what should we call you?
Andrew.
Okay. Well, I'm Abe.
Andrew.
Can I be watching him to tell if I think
Isn't
he's
that
telling the truth
Name of the
from my police training?
twin.
Roll your perception and some form of let's go with subterfuge because he's trying because telling if you're being subterfuge is also
okay.
subterfuge, or alertness must be allowed.
All right.
Yes.
Awareness.
Has been sent out.
She's been there as leverage.
She's the insurance.
Yeah.
Difficulty.
6.
I'm pretty sure those. So 3.
Yeah, he's telling the truth at the moment. I will tell you if that changes.
What's your surname, Andrew? If you don't mind me asking.
Garrett.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So you're. Remember you Thanatos?
I was. I suppose I still am. I don't know how it works.
I don't think there's any left to really ask.
And we're doing a little calm motion behind, like.
Conscious of Roger's timing.
Mm-hmm.
So this little box you have with you, yeah?
Yep.
What does it do?
It,
'Cause I assume you didn't put it together.
it's recording my life pattern. And it calls in intervals, so they know I'm still alive.
Right. How often is that?
Every 3 hours.
Do you have to be holding it?
Yeah, it's got to be pretty close.
It has to be pretty close. It can be in my pocket. I don't.
But yeah, it can't be more like that far away from.
So we should probably put it in his pocket.
I don't know. I could probably.
Please.
Well, what happens if it doesn't?
They'll probably kill her.
Oh, right.
Kill who?
His sister. This is the. I'm going to whisper to Ron, so he's in here, talking to her, sort of through this typewriter at the lab they're being brought in. It had a countdown on it, much like this box does. They're both counting down to the same time.
Who is it that's holding your sister?
Nephandi. Fallen Mage.
Is that who you were talking to using the ritual circle? Where are they?
At the moment, as far as I know, about 15 miles outside of Copenhagen.
Interesting.
But I suspect they'll be moving in. They're potentially already moving. They're going to Norway.
Why Norway?
He believes there's some great artifact that's going to be uncovered there.
Do you know where in Norway?
It's a facility. I think it's one of the research and development sites. I think they're doing some. Sorry, science is not my strong. Something about the water there. They're using it for something to do with armament manufacture. I don't really understand it. Heavy water. But they found something there. The sleepers found artifact, something they're trying to.
Can I make
recover
like an academics roll or something to see if I can guess what he's talking about with weapons research?
Yeah, or intelligence, academics, intelligence and science would be probably the better one.
Okay.
Would I have heard of this one?
Yeah.
Would you roll? Or?
I think I suspect the Etherites might have heard of this. It's nuclear technology.
4 successes.
Yeah, it's nuclear
So, like-
technology. They're
so-
after
Like the big
H3O.
explosion that I saw.
they're after H3O basically in the Norwegian fjords.
This is the big bomb.
Do we know where in Norway?
Again, I know the name of the facility. He rattles off something in German, but I don't know where that is on a map. You do know where that
I know exactly where that is on a map, but I'm not saying it.
No. That's where they're going to. He sent some apprentice or something. I don't know. I've never met him.
Oh.
Are you doing this?
So he's not going there himself?
No, he is now. He's not been there till now. He said someone else supervising the work.
Are you doing this because you believe in the cause?
Doing this so they don't kill her.
Hmm.
Well, I've kind of accepted he's going to kill me. He pretty much told me that. But he sort of implied the only hope of saving her was to go along with him. So I did. I am well aware what the traditions do to collaborators. I couldn't let him kill her.
Don't worry. He'll be alright. We'll sort it out.
He keeps saying we're important or she's important.
What does he want you to do?
He seems to think we're something to do with the artifact. I keep telling him we're not Norwegian. We've never been anywhere near it. I don't even know what you're talking about. Something to do with twins. Twins are somehow important to the artifact. And he thinks that's us. Well, at least he thought that's us. I think he's going off the idea now.
So what did he want you to do in London?
He wanted me to kidnap that lad. He said he was potentially important too. But also there are a few other bits he wanted checking. A couple of artifacts here I was going to try and recover. The cine reel that I presume if you've seen if you've seen 971, you've seen it. Though God only knows. Have you got him? Is he alive? Is he?
Yeah, Mike's alright. Don't worry.
I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah, no.
Pair of us are supposed to be keeping an eye on each other, effectively, and neither of us know what
Do
we're
there are any
doing.
other agents here?
Not that I've met, but it wouldn't surprise me.
But none that you're aware of or working
None
with?
that I'm aware of in London. No.
Is he telling me the truth? When he says
Yeah,
that?
he is.
Yeah, I'm basically
He's got
even if I talk to one of you,
Yeah.
I'm watching him.
him like a hawk. He's got someone in Paris.
Right.
And I think there might be someone in America, but I never caught the tail end of conversations.
Do you know either of their names?
One in France is a girl, Christine, Krista, something like that. Chrissy, something. The Americans.
I'll dig in there and
Americans-
see if I can remember the conversation, if it's deep in his mind.
The Americans, some bloke with a deep voice because I've heard his voice. But
Point
I
of
couldn't tell you his name.
willpower being spent on this one.
Right, okay.
I think it's an
If we
important
can,
one.
if we can find out. Oh, yeah.
2 successes. Goes to 10. Does it explode?
Have you got a relevant?
No, I don't have enough.
Then it's still just a 10 at this point, which is still good because that's a success.
Well, 2 with his willpower.
It's definitely Krista.
Krista.
Definitely. And you think he remembers it doesn't sound like a French accent. It might actually be Swedish or Norwegian.
Scandinavian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, if we can help root out another spy.
In Paris.
I mean,
Well-
Paris is still occupied at this point. It might not be much longer if the landings continue to go as they're going.
But it could be a spy in the
well.
resistance. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aging can mean a lot of things.
But again, Harry might know better.
Sure.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
person of interest.
We should relay this all back up.
Don't
Of course. Absolutely.
Some bits of it are making.
Was the purpose of your ritual purely communication?
Yeah, he wanted me to check in.
Why use blood?
So he told me to do it.
Have you got did you have a document or instruction on how to? We'll need that.
It should be somewhere in my things. It's in my shoe.
Okay.
If you get the
I'll
shoe,
go
at the
into
end
the
of
shoe
bed, yeah,
and-
it's under the stole that lives somewhere. Yeah, so he told me to do it. I'm not a hermetic. I didn't understand what I was doing.
What happens when you don't check in on the ritual?
He says he'll have to.
When?
when I don't meet the contact points. The device just checks I'm still alive. I'm supposed to contact him every 24 hours through the circle.
When's the next one?
About 3 hours ago.
Right.
Just before I came to Limehouse. So he thinks everything's all right until tomorrow night.
And this thing just checks you're alive. It doesn't do any more detail.
That's all that does, as far as I know.
It doesn't check how well you're doing or something. You don't have to try and fool it in that you had all your wounds dressed and you're in a hospital, so it might read a bit differently.
I don't think so.
It's
not
tell
really
that you're healthier.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not really
but I haven't
his
been shot in the
area.
leg.
Did he do this?
Yes. Him or
How was it?
How did he get you back into to England?
he. The sleepers, the Nazi, the right guys, the third guys, they were dropping in some, I presume, mundane spies, I guess, sleepers. Bringing a couple of agents, and they arranged to have me and 971 dropped off.
What can you tell us about the people the other agents?
I can describe them, probably.
Do you know any names?
We'll get them to
Yeah,
write all
basically.
that
I know
down.
I know what they called each other. I presume they're not going to be using that here.
Sure.
I didn't see any of their papers, so I don't know.
Regardless, worth
Yeah.
any information.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think we should get to Harry.
When?
I think we need to get to
When
Harry.
did we drop in? We were dropped into Lowestoft about 2.5 weeks ago. Through the port.
Were you in a parachute regiment?
Yeah, originally. Well, my master had me train with them there.
Allied or Axis?
Allied. Yeah, me trained here with the Paris here.
Before this happened
Before
a long
the-
time ago.
Years ago now.
Right.
He's quite good at it, for what it's worth.
Who was your master?
Ben Disraeli, he's dead as far as I know. Hornberg.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was one of the 5 that died at Hornberg, I'm afraid.
Mind you, he never came for me, did he? So, for what that's worth.
Well,
Sure he did.
If he did, he didn't succeed.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you've been on a list. We've been looking out for you as much as we can.
mm-hmm.
That's something, I suppose. But I've got to get
Did you do something with the typewriter? Or?
typewriter.
No. I think that might have been your sister.
Probably we weren't allowed to see each other very often.
Why is there a countdown on this? Is that you or is that her? Or
Or is it him?
I think that's him.
Alright.
But it's not like, if it goes beyond that point, then I think if we go beyond that point, I think we're of no longer any use to him. I think that's like, if it's not done by that date, it ain't getting done.
Is that his deadline entirely, or is that just his deadline with you guys?
It's
For
his deadline with us, and he certainly seems to care about it being met a lot.
Alright.
I think it's to do with the artifact, but I'm not sure.
So a month.
We could use this.
He's
It
starting to
depends on
look
whether
really sort of ashen.
Yeah, we should let him.
It depends on how much
Let him rest.
we can trust you. But
I have absolutely nothing to gain by lying to you at this point. I can't get back to him.
No.
I'm stuck
True.
here. I can't get to my sister. I
Well,
can't do
We'll
anything.
need you to keep reporting in then.
Yeah.
yes.
Under
I hope
watch.
he can't tell. But he's good at that sort of thing.
Might be able to help
And I'm not after this
conceal
one.
your thoughts.
Okay.
Out of them.
Just he
What do
does
you think
look
it-
like he's.
What do you think you'd do if you thought you were dead, though?
He told me he can't. I died.
Ah.
Really?
6 months ago,
He thinks the twin thing's important, but it
6
seems a
months
risky mission.
ago, I didn't think he would have done, but I think something's changed. I don't think we're what he thought we were.
Yeah.
I think I'm
It's
not going to say
bizarre.
he made a mistake, but I think he did.
Hey, but you seem to be aware of things going on in the wider arena. Have you heard anything about this Norway thing?
No. The idea that they've got some sort of nuclear bomb research base in similar to the Manhattan Project in
I saw in the mind the explosion at Hornberg. It's like that. And
well, it's kind of like that, not like that, but
sure,
Depends
but
what
the
it is.
scale of the destruction is just.
oh yeah, we're talking about an explosion. Yeah, huge.
Literally, if you guys talk amongst yourself for a couple of seconds, his eyes close.
Okay.
Wait. Sorry, Andrew.
What?
Before you drop off, I just want to make sure I've said this right, so if I put it on you, it won't.
Yeah, okay. Right, if you put the needle, it goes back to doing what it was doing when you first knocked it off of him.
Remember that you are responsible for your own actions, your own course.
Okay. Don't feel like it at the moment, mate.
You always have to answer to what you've done, but that also means you get to the rewards and the costs are yours.
He does actually look like he's taking that quite seriously. His eyes are actually open for that bit.
I'm going to ask him his service number.
He rattles off his service number.
Could be useful to look
Straight away.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
any soldier.
absolutely, yeah.
Right.
I think we should let this chap get some sleep.
Right,
He's
he just
being
sort
watched.
of goes.
We'll get him to write down a description of agents and people.
Spies.
Once we're
spies,
out
and
of the room, and I am certain he cannot hear me, I know where the Norway thing is.
He was set on.
Sorry? What?
I had contacts with some of the Benno in Norway. They were aware of the facility. There was an apprentice there. He was searching for some kind of artifact, and when it was found, the master was going to turn up to claim it. Their intention, the desperate plan, was to, when it was found, burst in, take it, and use it to kill the master. Honestly, that is not thankful. They have been fighting too long. They haven't had any respite, any support, any relief. They will lose that fight. Best case is that they will die.
Or there'll just be more puppets.
As I said, best case is they will die.
I'm fairly sure he was telling the truth about everything.
He seems to have nothing to lose. And
Everything to gain if we can make this work.
yes, I think he'll be willing to help us. We should just get Harry to have someone to watch him while we figure everything else out. The charter plane to Norway.
Yeah. Well, we've been undertaking operations in Norway. I'm sure we could get across with one of the missions. That new regiment, what are they called?
I was kind of joking. But
Commandos. They've been raiding Norway for.
You're kind of joking in the battle going, Well, Adam's thinking. Abe's thinking.
They've been raiding there and trying to support the resistance for the last couple of years.
A bullet that might actually hurt the bastard.
yes.
We know where he's going to be. We probably know he points at the points at.
Yep.
Goes to point at the box in your hand and realises it's not there. And points back maybe down. We probably know when he's going to be there.
Absolutely.
And I've got a feeling that I might just know who he was trying to find.
What caliber weapon does the bullet go in?
Standard handgun.
Standard handgun.
A handgun, not like it's going to be a rifle.
But I've got a feeling that there's a reasonable
magic.
chance
Who knows?
that the person he was looking for had a bomb dropped on her about just over 4 years ago.
Right.
So, yeah.
Talking about twins. I don't know, but she's the one who's following me around trying to get me killed.
And yeah, if you were, like, vital.
Sorry?
Were you not around for this earlier?
I did mention it a while back.
Yeah. I think the trying to get you killed bit was the bit that I was.
Well, Ron wasn't there, so.
Guide avatar has a twin.
Yes.
She
said.
Well, in
Good
this
enough. Good enough.
this incarnation, she was she, and she was killed before she awoke. Bomb. Don't know whether it was ours or theirs. Kind of doesn't matter at this point.
Sure.
She doesn't seem to be able to reincarnate while I'm alive, and thus she wants me to die.
I mean, it might also be connected if you're, like,
Okay. So you're important to this now.
If you're connected with this
Pretty
artifact,
sure
it's unlocking
she
it.
probably doesn't want me to end up captured by the Nephandi.
Sure.
Like
No,
I say, if you're
I figured that much.
Because she wants the two to reincarnate and try again.
And also, if you're not around, you probably don't unlock this artifact.
If unlocking it is the purpose, I don't know.
Well,
I
what
think we
need
need
to do
to-
for otherwise.
Me
I think we
being
need to have a
there
chill
could
with
be
Harry.
very useful or really, really bad idea.
Should we go
Are
and see
you
Harry?
returning? So Harry won't be back here. Are you all returning to possibly go and get some sleep?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
return,
Right.
get some sleep, and make sure that a message is sent off so that as soon as Harry is in a position to receive a message,
You're
he
all
has
woken
a,
up, right?
a
Yeah.
message saying, this is really
this,
important.
and just come back,
Yeah.
So we should briefly end it. If I can get like 2 sentences out, Roger, if that's okay, because Roger has to go in a time frame that we've already overrun by a little bit. You all have you have all individual, very briefly descriptive dreams. So Roger, that night you dream of being back home where you were raised, and you dream of watching a storm come in across the forests. Almost like you're in the second story of a house and you're looking out at it. And it's this magnificent thunderstorm. You can see the clouds, you can see the lightning crackling through it and hear the thunder. And it almost sort of, you can see it rolling in across the tree tops in the direction you're standing. You watch storms at home. You don't remember this particular one, but it's probably just it's actually quite nice. It's oddly, being really impressed with the power of nature, basically. Pete. Actually, we'll do Pete last. Right, Colin. You dream a dream that, if you like, may well be a similar theme to the stuff your character dreams of anyway. You're in a house. It looks about current. You're running, trying to find somebody desperately. You're yelling her name over and over. You can hear explosions outside. And the house shakes every now and again. You're desperately trying to find her. And you're yelling out her name. You can't remember what it is now, but you're yelling out her name. And you realise you see her. She's huddled under a bed in the corner of one of the bedrooms. And you reach out and you're trying to get her to take your hand, but she's just sort of curled up and she won't stop shaking. And you're yelling at her, take my hand, take my hand, take my hand, come with me. And then there's a cracking sound above you. And you wake up.
Less of a cheerful dream.
Abe, you have quite a fantastic dream.
Uh-huh.
Literally, this is brilliant. Abe strikes me as the person that sleeps with a notepad next to his bed for excellent nocturnal ideas. Seriously, you have a million ideas of things to write stories about. It's brilliant. There's there's some Vikings, but they're in space.
Cool.
And there's
Done.
Yeah. There's Vikings, but they're in space. And then there's aliens, but they're not really aliens. They're spirit things. And there's a chest, and it's all very confusing. And then there's it's brilliant. And then there's ray guns. And then there's this, not really an ether blimp, but some sort of shit that's sort of slightly Victoriana that's going through this sort of nebula. It's brilliant. You have it's fantastic.
Cool.
You have literally 8 hours
Sounds
of
like an
fantastic
RPG we need to
adventures.
make.
It's brilliant.
Can we make that as a role-playing game
Yes,
setting?
Vikings and things, yeah.
With spirit aliens and ether.
Yes,
blimps.
Pete gets another
Space Vikings.
Pete gets another slightly depressing one, I'm afraid. Right, you are standing on a hilltop in an impossibly monochrome landscape, so this clearly can't be real.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a black tree in front of you. Literally, it's got no leaves, anything like that, no fruit.
Yeah.
Just this sort of black. But it still looks alive. It doesn't look burnt. It almost looks like just that's the way this wood is.
Okay.
It's super, super, super black. There's, and you're sort of staring up at this tree. There's a woman next to you, but she's got a very deep hood on and you can't really see. And she says, well, this is where we've come to. Are you sure you're going through with this? And as you look up at the tree, a cloud of ravens sort of erupt out of it and sit on all the branches and start staring down. And then you wake up.
Okay.
Right, there we go. That is us finished for the evening. That's the end of episode 5. I hope that made absolutely no sense, because that's the idea of this point. And we will see you next week.
Before I forget, because I'll maybe forget,
Okay.
my character will be, once he's woken up, will be spending some time essentially trying to talk to the ghost.
Right.
And reassure her.
Right.
basically trying to be, because he thinks that what he is seeing is the Avatar's view of trying to make her wake up so that she can save herself.
Yes.
And so he is basically trying to reassure, as far as he can, reassure her that, she did what she could,
And at this rate, she won't be waiting long for you anyway.
maybe a bit of that. Yeah. Essentially, he is actually he's got, despite the fact that this spirit is trying to kill him, he has quite a lot of sort of sympathy for it,
Yeah.
and is kind of trying to bridge the gap a bit. Not so much make friends yet, but
Yes, understandably,
Not be at
I think.
odds.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't want them to be enemies.
We shall, for very good reasons.
Potentially.
Potentially many more lifetimes to suffer for that if you are. Right, so we shall leave it there for
Cool.
this week.
Excellent. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please go and check out the Patreon. Help us by supporting the channel. Or if you want to get some cool maps that we're now making and adventure modules, then please check that out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Warhammer's back next week for the last episode of Season 1.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we're going to convert to 4th edition. So, weird things afoot in the Warhammer world. I need to read the PDF before we do it, and next week's too soon. Anyway,
Marvellous.
cool. Anyway,
Yep.
thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Masters and Monsters.
Bye.
Bye-bye.